All right, this is a broadcast of the Ebony Star Network, sponsored by the E Nation. You know, we talk about single black mothers. I always hear about it's their fault. It's never the man's fault. It's never the father's fault. For some reason, the father gets a pass on everything, even when it's a situation of children being born to a mother who can't afford to feed them. Who do we blame when the mother or the woman who's in charge of the boys or the woman who's their legal guardian? Who do we blame when she has more than one child and can only afford to feed one of them? Who do we blame then? But we're going to talk about it, amongst other things, on the OverDrive 3G coming up right now. Here today. All right. What's going on, everybody? We are sponsored and supported by the Earthen Nation. This is a broadcast of the Ebony Star Network, which is the media hub of the Earthen Nation, the E Nation. Shout out to all our supporters in the chat, Hassan Birdman T, and the likes, Emmanuel Briggs. Shout out to our brother Mr. Briggs. What's going on? Um, and I have the ladies with me today. We are in full effect. The Thunder Princess is here, and the Lady Knight herself, Dame Frankie, is here, and they will be supporting me on this podcast. This will be a three-way back and forth about what we have to talk about today that we feel is extremely important. And these kinds of things don't get talked about. We have a lot of men running around here talking about black women on the least desire, but don't seem to give a damn about these children. And that these children are hungry, and that these children are growing up fatherless, and the mothers are having to pull rabbits out of a hat, pray for miracles just to feed these children. This is not good. And you wonder why our nation is the way it is. You wonder why our communities are messed up. And you wonder why we have misguided young men in here talking about nation building. They don't have the first thing or the first understanding on how even to build a damn household. Talk about the jumping the gun or put the cart before the horse. But before we get started, as always, sound check. Everybody come on in here. Let's get a sound check. Type a 1 in the chat if you can hear all of us. Ladies, sound off.
I'm here and I can hear you.
Princess, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, everybody, put a 1 in the chat if you can hear all three of us clearly. Okay, Nikki Lee says she can hear everybody. And T Briggs. All right, y'all. All right, it is the OverDrive 3G. Let's get it started. Now, I'm not sure how many of y'all are into boxing, but we're talking about this particular boxer, not because of his prowess in the ring, even though he was a great boxer, but because of his life, because his life is connected to what we want to talk about today. When you saw the title, right? His life inspired this title. His name was Matthew Saad Muhammad. I forgot the Philly fight. He was a great fighter in his day. Matthew Saad Muhammad, I believe his real name was, Dame, help me out with his real name. He was born what?
He was
Maxwell.
born Maxwell Loach.
Maxwell Loach, who later changed his name to Matthew Saad Muhammad. His situation was a tragic situation about a single black mother. Something that I want to bring a lot of attention to today. And too many of our black mothers are going through this. And I'm sick and tired of black women being on the end of these types of situations. And we don't see any black fathers. All of this huff and puff about black women being held accountable. All of this smoke about not all black women are good. All of this not wanting to be a part of echo chambers when it comes down to something good to being said about black women. But we don't want to talk about this. We don't want to talk about how too many times single black women, single black mothers are on the end of these kinds of situations. And the fathers get a pass. For some reason, we don't have any smoke for the fathers. We don't have any huff and puff for the fathers who left this black woman in this terrible situation. Why doesn't that account for anything? Why do we always look at the effect and pay no attention to the cause? A woman being put in this situation, a terrible situation, to where she has no win, to where she has to make a dreadful and regretful decision for the survival of one of her children. A black woman should never be in that position. These children have fathers, and if the fathers aren't there, the next able male body in the household should be there. The next able male in the community should be there. See, I grew up in a community that really cared about the children. The fathers protected all the children in the neighborhood. Nobody in my neighborhood starved. Nobody in my neighborhood went without food. Why is a black woman faced with a decision that she has to make in order to ensure the survival of one of her children? Matthew Saad Muhammad was born when he was 5. His mother died, so he went to live with an aunt. She had her own boy, but she couldn't afford to feed him. Where is his father? Where was the father at the funeral when the mother died? Why is this boy in the care of his aunt who could not afford to feed him? Where's the father? Where's the uncle? Where is another grown male that can step up and take care of this child? Why is this child passed to a relative that couldn't afford to feed her? And because she couldn't afford to feed him, sometime in the night, her son took him out and left him under the Benjamin Franklin Bridge in Philadelphia. And knew he did not know the way home and ran away and left him there because they could not feed him. They could not take care of him. Fortunately, he was found by a black woman who was a police officer who asked him his name, but he couldn't remember his name. And she took him to the Catholic nuns. They were black. And because he couldn't remember his name, they gave him a name. They named him Matthew after the saint and named him Franklin after the bridge he was found under. Later in his boxing career, he changed the last name to Saad Muhammad. See, the reason why I'm telling you this story, because this is the kind of stuff that we don't see, that black women, single black mothers get put into. By either the man dying or the man just flat out leaving the child. The man wanted to have nothing to do with the child. The man just want to pump and dump. And we're going to get into the pump and dump stuff, and we're going to tell you about what kind of environment that creates, right? But here, when I see stories like this, all of these niggas around here talking about black women are the least desired on dating apps. They're debating on black female effery. They're debating on black women submitting. But no one is debating on black men taking care of their children. Where are those debates? How come instead of on dating apps, how come we always talking about black men taking care of their fathers in real life? Now, they've attempted to say that black men make the best fathers, or some kind of number or statistic that they came up with. I still don't know what they're talking about with that, because when I go out here and look at what's going on, I don't see any of that. I'm not even sure what it is that they're talking about. When they say that black men are the best fathers and take care of their kids, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't even know where that is coming from. And what decade or what era was that in? Because it surely isn't in this era, in this time of day. Oh, I'm afraid not. If you're talking about in this time we live in right now, oh, I could debunk that. I could debunk that with a couple of neighborhoods. So surely you're not talking about this time. So I don't know what they're talking about. They must be talking about some old ancient, way back 240 million years ago. I don't know, when they didn't speak English at all. When everybody was talking about some when that was the language. I guess back then when they were speaking, I guess black men were good fathers because they had no choice, right? Because they had to teach their sons how to hunt. Because the more males you had hunting, the more food you had coming in to take care of the family. So when dad was like, rock group, rock with Rick rock group, son, go pick up that arrow and go shoot the hell out of a beast and bring that beast back home so we can eat. So when you speak in rock root, we're going to call that language rock root. Okay? So back then when the black man was speaking rock root, he was a good father, right? Rock root, rock root. Woman, stop coddling that boy. He has to go out and hunt. And then she turns around and goes, okay, darling, you are a great father. So maybe back when black folks were speaking rock root, that's when black men were good fathers. Now you fast forward all the way up to now, where we speak English, and they're talking about black men. I don't know what they're talking about. I'm not even sure what black men they're talking about. What kind of black men are these? Where do they come from? Because surely that's not happening now. Are you kidding me? With all these absentee fathers, you got the nerve to come out here and say things like that? Black men make the best fathers, or black men are the most married, and black men are the best. Man, you got the nerve to say things like that with all these absentee fathers out here, with all these children running around here like animals? You have the nerve to say some things like that. So you can't be talking about this time. You got to be talking about 50 million years ago when black folks spoke rock root. So let me bring the ladies in here for a second. Ladies, come online.
Okay.
So starting with you, Miss Frankie. Why this is a tragic situation to where a woman has to make a regrettable decision.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to believe that a mother wants to make this decision. I don't want to believe that an aunt wants to make this decision.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the boy acted on his own. Because I don't believe the auntie told him to go lead him away. Right? But this is a terrible situation to make this kind of decision.
Mm-hmm.
That you can't afford to feed both of your children. So you have to let one of them go. As women, I want both of y'all to speak on that. We're going to go with Dame first, and then Abby, you speak on it too. Go ahead, Dame.
Well, yeah, that is a horrible decision. And most mothers would choose their own child, but she must have felt, something for her nephew that, it was a hard decision to make. And who's to say that they didn't, after she finally got out where the boy was left, that he was gone by the time they got there? Don't know. But somehow the information got out that he was born. Uh, uh, um, he was born June 16, 1954, and his birth name was Maxwell Antonio Loach. So it's possible that this person acted on their own, you know.
Okay, so
But that
Abby.
decision didn't have to be made.
Abby.
Yes, Mas.
What do you think about the aunt making it? Now, we don't know if the aunt made this decision because she couldn't afford to feed her because she had a boy of her own. So we don't know if she made this decision. All we know is that her son led him away at night and ran away so he couldn't find his way back home. Now, it's possible that the boy could have acted on his own because he probably felt that his mother was crying because she couldn't feed the child, she couldn't take care of the child. Sometimes children act to try to protect their parents. I don't know if she made that decision. I don't want to believe that she made that decision. So speak on that. What do you think happened?
Okay, my mind I have on this is that the child did not make a decision for anything, but he wants to protect his mother as well. In
Hmm.
some circumstances, I would say if a child cannot feed himself well, the parent or the mother is not there, and uh, um,
You need a minute?
yeah, in a
Okay.
minute, I have
Okay.
to.
Okay. 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 We'll come back to you. Sorry about that, folks. Abby's a little under the weather. You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right. Okay. We'll come back to you. We'll let Abby get herself together. Okay. So, Dan, let me come back to you.
Okay.
Where, where's the father in this situation? See, this is what you see. I'm coming from where I come from. I saw strong fathers. I saw fathers who held the community together. I saw fathers who made sure that there was no child in that community that went without food, clothing, and shelter. That's what I saw. So when I see this, I'm my mind is where the hell are the men? Why wasn't the father alerted when the biological mother died? Who is the next male in the family? Why didn't he show up? Where are the males in the community? Why didn't they show up? Why was this child put with an aunt that could not financially take care of this child? And somehow a dreadful decision was made for the child to be left in the middle of the night under the Benjamin Franklin Bridge. And all kinds of things could have happened to this child. It could have been a lot worse than the police officer finding this child.
Mm-hmm.
So my question: where the hell are the fathers? Why aren't the fathers? Why aren't the fathers blamed for stuff like this?
Well, I think I don't know what there's no information about his father, but I got the impression that his father was never in the picture because all he remember is his mama. There might not have been a man with the aunt because all he remembers the mama and the aunt.
You
So,
see the problem?
so there was no uncle, there was no dad, there was just mom,
You
auntie.
see people. You see people, and people have the nerve to come over and challenge me and question me about why I don't hold black women accountable for anything. If you look at this story, right, there's no man in the story at all. The mother who died was a woman, a black woman. The auntie who took him in was a black woman. And the police officer that found him was a black woman. And the two nuns that took him in were two black women. There is no man to be found in the story. But people have the nerve to come over here and challenge me and question me about why I don't hold black women accountable for nothing. But when we unveil stories like this, it's kind of easy to see why I don't, right? I mean, it's just a rocket science. Here you have a tragic story about a boy who had to be led astray, life put into danger simply because a family member couldn't afford to feed him. And there is no man nowhere to be found in the story. Well, if you want to count the boy as a male, I guess you can do that. But we're not talking about the boy, right? We're talking about the father. No man, no adult male to be found nowhere in the story. This is one of the reasons why I don't blame black women for anything. Because the Nagas are worthless, terrible fathers, terrible leaders, don't care anything about their kids. They leave everything on the woman. They make the woman face everything, all kinds of adversity. She has to find a way because the father done walked out or slithered out some kind of way. So she knows that that child is all she's got. She is all that child has. If she fails that child will have nothing and no one. Dang.
Right.
Right.
Right, because here is the case that if the man or if the father was around, this child will not remember only his mother, or he will not be thinking about his mama alone. You see, we've been doing this, and then you said people will be saying you have to hold accountable of the women. Women are not doing anything. When the men have been doing the right thing, women are going to do the right thing as well. Because women are following the men, what the men are doing. And the man is the head of the family. So whenever a mistake comes from the man, definitely the women also is going to copy what the fathers or what the men are doing.
No, she didn't die at childbirth. She was alive until he reached the age of 5. She died when he was 5 years old. And to answer Auntie's question, yeah, there's a lot of kind people, and maybe the father was in jail, or maybe he left before the mother was pregnant. But there should have been another male in the family somewhere. When this mother died, where were the males at? I mean, nobody alerted any of the other people in the family. The males are supposed to deal with this. The males are supposed to get together and say, okay, so and so's kids need to be taken care of. Where are the males? When people died in my family, the males got together. Where are the males? They just let this boy get put in a terrible situation where the mother or the guardian had to make a dreadful decision. What woman or what mother wants to make that kind of decision for a child? Dame?
No mother wants to make that decision. That's why she'll do anything. Start.
What about another woman? Because in this case, the mother died at the age of 5,
Mm-hmm.
and he was
Okay.
passed off to the aunt. Does she wants to make this kind of decision?
She don't want to make that kind of decision neither.
Hold on, Abby.
Yes, Mas.
Does a mother or another black woman wants to make this kind of decision
Never,
about a child?
never. No, no black woman or no other mother want to make such a decision. No.
Yeah, that's cool, Deacon Charles Anthony, but his mother died when he was 5. We confirmed that. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Abby. Abby, go ahead. You were saying?
No, I said no. There's no any woman or any mother who who can be like or have a decision like that. No other woman.
All right. All right, let's take it to the chat. We're gonna have. I'm gonna have a question, ladies. If you were in that situation, or you knew a woman in that situation, do you think that that would be a decision that you would want to make? If you have two children and you can only afford to take care of one of them, do you want to make that decision to where you have to just drop one of them somewhere and hoping and praying that they'll be all right? Would you think your friend would want to do the same? Put a one in the chat for yes, a two in the chat for no. So while we waiting for that, let's continue. So you see, the problem I have with this, ladies, is that there's no man in the story. You notice when you listen to the whole story, right? There's a black woman in the story every step of the way, but there's no man. Like I said, the biological mother was a black woman. The auntie was a black woman. The police officer that found him was a black woman. And the two nuns that took him in, they were two black women. There's no man. Why is there no man in the story? Abby?
Because you don't want to show up.
Why do we have stories like this where the only person that seems to be working and moving through the story is a black woman? Where are the men? Where are the black men? How come the men aren't in the stories? And do you fellas want to answer that in the chat? Why all of these stories got nothing but black women in them? Where are the black men? Where are the fathers? How come we're not telling the story? Well, the father actually did something for a change. The father showed up and bought the kid a pair of shoes. Or something. There's never a black man in the damn story, unless they're talking about he left. He walked out. He abandoned them. That's the only time you hear about a black man in the damn story. Some of you fellas in the chat want to answer that? Dame, go ahead. Why do you think that is?
I think there was never a black man in the story. In his entire 5 years, there was not a black man. A father, uncle, another male relative, relatives from his father's side of the family, none. Hmm. Okay. Emmanuel Briggs says because they're irresponsible cowards.
Yeah, nigga, this has been happening for years. We got even worse stories than that. We just choose not to talk about them because they're so bad. Even that punk ass Iceberg Slim had a rough story with his mother. But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. All right, anyway.
Can you hear me?
So, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Auntie says some families are made that way. My family's made up of 90% female. After all these generations, we now have boys that are starting to be born again in our family. Sometimes it's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's cool and all, but still, there's supposed to be a male somewhere in there stepping up. Even if you have now that 90% woman thing, that just started happening a couple of decades ago. That wasn't always the case. You understand what I'm saying? That's really some new thing that's starting to take place now. You're starting to have families that are heavy on the female population side because the men are either being killed, they're being incarcerated, they're somehow taken out of the picture. The only thing left are the females, But, when I was growing up, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but he was born in 1954, where where men were more likely to be in the home.
Exactly.
Hmm.
There was plenty of men back then. This is why I'm barking the way I'm barking. Where was the men in the family when his mother died and there had to be a funeral? Somebody had to show up. A uncle or a distant male cut somebody.
But if the uncle have to show up when the uncle is not strong enough to be a man, he cannot show up. So that is why there is no man coming out from his family to protect or to guide his boy.
You know, when my sister passed away, God rest her soul, she had a boy that she left behind. The males got together and we took care of it. And he was raised properly. He didn't have no. He never been. He was never on the street. He was taken care of. So I don't understand. Like where would it been? And like I said, why is it always a woman, a black woman, at the tail end of the story, and all throughout the story, and you don't find men? And we find ourselves making excuses for men not being what they're supposed to be. I'm starting to see a sentiment, right? Even in this chat and other chats, where women are starting to accept the failures of black men. I don't know if y'all getting caught up in that BS that's being talked about in the manosphere, whatever. Maybe you feel a little bit sorry or whatever, but you know, not making black men accountable for their actions is only going to create a life of misery for the rest of our people. Because when black men are not doing what they're supposed to do, everything else turns into a free fall, a downfall. Everything trickles down. It gets worse because there's no male leadership. And I think some sisters are starting to buy into the fact that it's not black men's fault and what you want them to do. I tell you what it is. It is their fault, and what I want them to do is be men and do what they're supposed to do and be leaders. That's what we want them to do. And I'm starting to see this, and it's starting to be a little disturbing. I mean, these dudes ain't crap, and all they did was leave women in misery, and all this feeling sorry for them. Like what are we doing? Can't feel sorry for them. They don't feel sorry for you when they leave you in a hole with a bunch of kids. They don't care about the kids either. No, we don't feel sorry for black men. We demand that they be accountable and we demand that they do what they're supposed to do as men. They don't have a choice not to be a leader because the man is the de facto leader of the community, the environment, and the society of that people. So he don't have a choice. So he need to get his act together. I don't know about all this feeling sorry. I'm starting to see that. And, I'm like, what? But go ahead, Dane.
Yeah. So okay, so this so so when there are black men there, and responsible black men, they step up. That's why I'm saying
Well,
there
well,
something. Mm-hmm.
I understand that, right? Absentee father become a norm, but we shouldn't accept that, though. See, the reason why it's a norm. See, when something becomes normal, it's because it's accepted. If you don't accept it, it can't become normal. See, we accept absentee fathers, something that we should never do.
Mhm.
We should never turn around and tell these dudes that creating all these babies, hey, we accept the fact that you're a bum and that you ain't gonna do nothing for the baby. You ain't gonna, care about nothing about the woman that had the baby, nor do you give a damn if the baby live or die. We can't accept that. We can't tell guys that that's acceptable behavior. Because if you do that, right, you'll never get any good fathers. You will you will doom your life to endless a cesspool of an endless cesspool of sorrow, and you'll overwork yourself. Let me tell you something. I'm not a female, but I can see that being a mother, especially when you have more than one child and and you're single, you don't have any help, man, that's a serious job.
Mhm.
I can only imagine how some women get worn out. You know, I can just imagine. Look, I'm on the outside looking in because I'm not a female, but just from what I see, I just imagine women just get worn out. Especially they got more than one child, and there's no help coming from the fathers. I mean, that don't look easy at all. You got to chase these kids around. You got to balance this and that. You got to make sure they all eat. They got to get medical. You still got to work. They got to go to school. I mean, it's a lot to do by yourself. So I think that we have to stop accepting the norm. That's the problem. That it became the norm because we're accepting it. We have to stop accepting it. We got to push back against it. No, this ain't the norm. I'm not accepting this. You're going to have to handle your business as a father. We're not going to just sit back and give you a pass and say, okay, you know what? It's normal for you to be a deadbeat. It's normal for you to be a loser. It's normal for you to be a non-leader. We can't accept that. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, we can't accept it. But I don't think we are accepting. That's how these some women caught up with multiple. They keep thinking, okay, this dude is gonna be different, and then they end up with another child, and he's the same way, you know.
Abby.
Okay, for me, I don't see what she said. Okay, it's gonna be differently for how we're gonna say it, but
Well, let me ask you this.
other people don't see
Should
it like the way we do.
Okay, check this out, right? Mika said it's becoming the norm, or should we, ladies, should y'all accept that? Should y'all accept the fact that this is becoming the norm? Abby, I'll start with you. Should you accept the fact that absentee fathers and deadbeat dads are becoming the norm? Do you accept that as normal?
I don't accept it.
Tell us why you don't accept it.
You said being coming a normal or being coming. Please go over the question again. It seems like
Okay, Mika says it's because
mm,
absentee fathers are becoming the norm. So basically, absentee fathers, deadbeat dads, you know, irresponsible dads, it's becoming a normal thing around here. Do you accept that? Do you accept the man who's not in the home, not taking care of his kids as normal?
yeah, okay, right. I will see they are normal because now they see that the reason why I say they be seeing it normal because now people people being see more men around all over the community that they don't care about the children, they don't fix their homes, so they don't care that they see it normal. But for me, it is not normal for me. I don't sure we should see it as a normal.
I
There's a
think, I
problem
think,
that we have to fix it.
yeah, Mika, I'm with you. I think we should get into more arguments about that because if we're going to accept this as being normal, then we're all crazy. You should never accept something. This is detrimental to our race. This is devastating to us. Why should we accept devastation as normal? We need to get into more arguments and fights about this because we got to sit back and say, no, this ain't, no, I'm not accepting this. And I'm not letting you off the hook as a father by saying that this is the norm and accepting that this is the norm. Dane, where you at on this?
No, I don't accept that this is the normal. I think people know that this is not normal, but when you got kids growing up where all their friends are raised by their dad, by their moms, and the friend that has his daddy is the odd one, or the one that is not in normal range. I mean, not normal, not what they see regularly. Hmm.
Yeah, but you see, and then you got Nikki Lee says she thinks that I think first of all, Nikki Lee, are you a female? Because we want to address you the right way. Nikki Lee says it's been like this for a long time until women um, don't even expect fathers to be in their child's life. But you see, that's a problem.
Hmm.
Women aren't cats. I know we like to refer to women as cats sometimes and call them kittens and all that, but they're not cats. Female cats don't give a shit about no father. Female cats have they litter and don't want to be bothered with no nigga. Matter of fact, a lot of female cats, after they have they litter, they chase the nigga away. They don't even want them around the kids. They want to be alone with their babies. Female cats use male cats just for their sperm. They don't ask the male cats to do a damn thing. They don't ask them to go out, get no cat food, catch a tuna, bring back a tuna for the kids. They don't ask that motherfucker to do nothing. Matter of fact, after he handles business, they tell him to get the hell out of here. And they want to be alone with their babies. But cats don't pay bills. Cats know how to nurse their children. Cats can also cure their kids of certain illnesses. Cats keep their kids clean. Cats know how to. Cats can see if certain things are wrong with their kids. Cats got free room and board. They don't pay rent. Hell, they got free room and board, free food, and a place for their babies. Women aren't cats. It costs money to raise babies. There ain't no free room and board. And there's somebody called a father who's supposed to be helping. And fathers aren't male cats. Not human fathers. You got a responsibility. Human fathers want to be male cats because male cats ain't got no responsibility. All right, go on mute, Abby. Put on mute. Okay, so male cats don't have the responsibility. Male cats get to hang out, slang it, don't give a F because the woman don't want, the female cat don't want him around no way. And he cool with that. So you got a lot of male dudes want to be male cats. They want to run around here and sling it and not give a damn about what's going on with the kids. Well, I got news for you. You're not a male cat, and the black woman is not a female cat. Both of you are human beings. When black women have babies, there are certain things attached to those babies called responsibilities. And one of the biggest responsibilities attached to the father. No, you don't get to be a male cat. You get to be a real human father who's responsible. Dang.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, yeah, they want to be that, but no, okay. Yeah, it could be right at being normalized because now is 20 years old, but at the time we was discussing, she was 17, and she equate having a boyfriend with becoming a baby mama, and she was trying to avoid that as much as possible, you know, because her mama was a baby mama, she had plans and stuff like that, so she's going to avoid dating and altogether.
Wow. Did you see what Nikki said? She said her 7 year old asked her why brown people don't have a father and mother at the same time.
Yeah.
Can you engage her on that, Dame, to get more information?
Okay. He's saying brown people, as he mean black people, or was he saying brown people? Like Latinos and stuff like that. I'm assuming, but I don't want to assume nothing because 7-year-olds are a little bit more perceptive than we think.
I'm thrown off. Nikki,
But
Nikki, are you black or you mixed or what? My 7 year old asked me why brown people don't have a father and mother at the same time. Abby,
Yes, Mas. This question, I've seen it, but this question is kind of some kind of way. We have to know which kind of the brown can be white people. And the same time, we don't know whether he's talking about black people or the white people. So you have to be specific. My 7 years boy asked me about maybe a black fathers why they are not being with us, or maybe a white fathers they're not being with their mothers and their fathers. You have to be
yeah,
specific.
yeah. See. What's ringing my bell is you said brown people.
Yes, okay. She says yes was saying married.
Yes, was saying what?
Yes, I guess yes. He was talking about black people, and he was saying being married.
No, but must ask a question whether he's black or he's he's
Yeah. What is your nationality? Are you black, Nikki? Are you white, or you have a white husband or a black husband, or because that's an unusual statement. That's not something that we hear on this kind of channel. That's what. See, what's ringing my bell is the brown people thing. That's ringing my bell. I don't know black children that age that would even say something like that. You ever heard a 7 year old call black people brown people, Dane? I never had.
No.
Abby, have you ever heard a 7 year old call black people brown people?
never. I never see that
I've never
before.
heard that. Yeah, I've never heard
Mm.
that. That's what's ringing
Yeah.
my bell. So can you clarify yourself? Like, what nationality are you? Or because we're a little bit confused. All right. So while she's doing that, let's continue with the show. Um, okay. So you said she's black. Okay. You're black, and your son black. Your husband black. Your husband, your son. Yeah, but yeah, Auntie, I said a black child. A biracial child isn't a black child. Yeah, exactly, Bill. I'm saying the same thing. Like brown people. I mean, that's an unusual. I've never
Phrase.
heard that from a 7-year-old. Like where would that even come from with a 7-year-old? Brown people. Why would brown? Why don't brown? I mean, that's.
She said her child doesn't understand
Okay.
race.
Yeah, I understand that, but right, that's my whole problem. Your child doesn't understand race. So where did he or she get brown people from? That's my whole point. They had to learn that from somewhere. Is that what you taught them, or did you get that from school or a television show? Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Because they just don't show up talking about brown people. I mean, I've never heard a young kid talk like that. Not a black kid.
Not at
So it's
7 years
just
old. Toddlers
yeah.
may
Is your
and
son?
hurry up, but by 7, no, they usually know, they're black.
I mean, is your son mixed, but biracial? Is he 100% black? Is your husband black? I mean, I'm not trying to problem. I'm just trying to get some things clarified. It's just an unusual thing for a 7-year-old black kid to say.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I understand saying brown when they like toddlers, pre-K, 4 years old, five by 5 they start, they'll say they're black, depending on the household. But by 7, no, they know they're black. If they don't know they're black, that means there's something else going on. They're a black child being raised by white grandparents.
Yeah,
And
we're not. Listen, y'all, we're not attacking them. That just
yeah,
sounds very unusual.
mhm.
You've been around black kids. I've been around black kids for a long time. I've got so many nieces and nephews, and I
Okay.
was there when they were young. I've never
One
heard
thing.
that. I've never. Uh,
Okay. What I also saying that
Okay.
maybe the wood that he might be living with maybe a lot of white people. So definitely he might be hearing it, or
okay,
I
so
don't
she is
know.
black.
Okay.
Okay,
No
so
other
okay,
thing
so
is
she has a black.
African.
Okay, so she has a black daughter. Okay, that could have been all right. Okay, because girls are very, very perceptive. Um, she probably. I don't know. She could have developed. What do you guys? I don't know. Y'all women, y'all tell me.
Mhm.
I was just never. That's just a very awkward, odd thing for a 7-year-old. I've never heard a 7-year-old black kid even refer to race. Like, I mean, I don't know. What do you ladies? You said it's her daughter and she's black.
Do you live around a lot of black people? Oh, yeah, that's another thing I didn't take into account. Because trust me, 7 year olds, they know they're black. They see it. They even see the differences of how they're being treated at 5. From them and the white students.
I mean, does she go to an all-white school? I mean, that's really, really strange. I'm sorry, I don't mean to go on with this, but I I mean, does she go to all-white school, or is a school mixed with Asian kids? And because if she go to an all-white school or go to a school that's mixed with whites and Asians, I can see her learning that from them. I can see her learning that. Okay, that would do it for me. You know, if she around white kids, Asian kids, foreign kids, then yeah, I could see her coming home saying something like that because she would probably get that from them. But if she's around black kids all the time, I don't know where that's unless they're cracking jokes. I mean, I don't. Maybe the colorism thing done trickled all the way down to our kids now.
Okay. A child needs to be instructed and raised before 7, especially in this country.
What happened?
Okay, Bill was saying a child needs to be instructed and raised before 7, especially in this country.
Oh, let me read this thing. I can't figure out.
Okay, Mika said earlier, children go by color of the skin. I used to call white people peach, didn't understand why they were called white. Uh-huh. And see, and Bill was like, a child needs to be instructed and raised before 7, especially in this country. Auntie said, I call them pink and red. Let's see. Belle was saying to Mika, yes, toddlers do, not 7-year olds.
No, I don't think she's a troll. It's just a very interesting thing.
No,
And
no, she's not a troll.
Nikki, yeah, Nikki, don't feel some kind of way. We're not attacking you. Just that's just an unusual statement for a young black child to make, especially 7 years old.
Mhm.
Especially if she's been around black kids. I'm thinking maybe she's going to a school that has white kids running around, Asian kids. Then yeah, that would work for me.
Or she never been to a school. So she didn't see white kids every day, Asian kids every day.
Okay,
Like she did.
Deacon says that's a white dude from RVR's channel. Yeah, okay. All right. So it's a white dude pretending to be a black woman.
Mhm.
So Deacon says that you're a white dude playing a. Said he seen you on RBR's channel. Yeah, that's just
The
it.
school is white. And she's technically all the schools are white, but yeah. But if it's where it's exclusively white, there's only a few sprinkling of black people or Hispanic or Latino, then yeah, it'd be a white school. Being called black when we're brown, when they were little. But
So her school is white. Okay, she said her school is white. Said her school is white. Yeah, okay, so okay. Okay,
They
so
want to
Deacon
belong
seems
to their babies.
what is
Female
that?
cats use male cats. Just
Who is that?
Avana, she's switching thing and the thing was playing.
Wow, she's that far behind?
No, no, she's probably switching from her phone to her computer or her computer to her phone.
Yeah, so Nikki Lee, are you a white dude playing a black woman? Because if that's true, that's a no-no in here. Deacon is accusing you of being a white dude on another channel.
Well, she said her 7-year old is black.
I mean, here's the thing, right? This is a pro-black channel, all right? But we can't keep people out of here. Now, if you come in here and you're white, you're going to run into some problems because we're all pro-black over here. So maybe it's not a place you would want to stay anyway. Yeah, yeah, Mika, I've seen it happen too. Okay, so that's a guy that trolls RVR and used several different accounts.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, yeah, that's true. Let's see. Emmanuel Briggs
Well,
said,
if you have a black child, you're looking for some kind of answers. I mean, just come out and say you're a white person with a black child, so we'll know where you're coming from. Okay, I mean, don't come in here trolling and pretending to be a black woman when you're not. That's gonna get you kicked out of here.
"Yeah," and we'll come at you thinking because you're black, you know what everything we
Yeah,
talk
just
about
come in
without having
here.
to
Yeah,
explain.
just come in here and say you're a white person, so we'll know who you are and where you stand. And if you got a black child, you say you're looking for some help. If somebody in here wants to help you, they will. I probably won't because I don't like white folks. But I can't speak for everybody in here. Okay? If you come in here respectful and keep your head together, maybe some people in here want to help you. Don't look for any help from me. I'm just saying. But 'cause I don't want you in here. But anyway, um, I don't speak for everybody in here though. Okay? So, we give people an opportunity to speak their mind in here. So, you can at least come in here right if you could, just come in here and be white. Don't come in here trying to pretend to be one of us. Just come in here and be white and be like, look, I'm white. I have a black child and I'm confused or maybe I need some help. You know, I'm not helping you, but maybe somebody else in here might. Don't ask me for any help. Okay. Well, people, we're going to leave that up to yeah, we pro black, but we're not a hate group. You know, we're not a hate group, but we are pro black. We are pro black first. We're not a hate group. We don't uh, preach hatred towards any other race or whatever. But we are a pro black group here. But like I said, you've been better off coming in here just being white. So everybody knows who you are and where you're coming from. And then if you wanted to try to get some help, maybe somebody here might want to help you. Like Briggs said, he said he don't mind helping. All right, but you don't have to come in here and pretend to be black, because now you done started off wrong, and now you done pissed a few people off. And now people are offended. And white people, if you're listening, if you want to come in here, and try to talk to us, whatever, you're free to do so. But come in here as yourself. Just don't try to pull any tricks. Don't try to pull any games. Of course, if you come here saying stupid stuff, we're gonna get you up out of here. If you come in here with the racist stuff, we're gonna get you up out of here. You come in here with any racist jokes, we're gonna get you up out of here. All right? Understand that. But if you're listening and you want to come and partake in what we're talking about, or you may have an opinion, I don't know if your opinion gonna fly with anybody, but you're welcome to try. Like I said, we're not a hate group. We're pro-black, but we don't preach hatred towards other races. Now, I particularly don't like white folks, but that's just me. I don't speak for everybody in here. All right. So, white people, if you're listening, if you want to come in here, you're free to do so. Just make sure you abide by the rules. No disrespect to black women in here. Don't come in here with that racist stuff. We're gonna get you up out of here. All right. Now, if you come in here, you make a comment, somebody wants to talk to you or whatever, that's their prerogative. But don't come in here already wrong, impersonating black women and. So why don't you go and change to your real name and come back? If not, got to get you up out of here because you tripping. No, no, I didn't. All right, Deacon. Okay, everybody. Y'all can deal with Nikki Lee the way you see fit. He doesn't have a wrench, so he has no protection from me.
Okay, well then, let's go back to our topic. Nikki is not talking any longer. I know because we got caught out.
Yeah, see, that's a surefire sign when they don't talk anymore. See, an innocent person will defend his or herself. See, when they're guilty in here, they stop talking. See. All right. Anyway, let's get back to what we was talking. Yeah. Okay. That Nikki Lee person doesn't have any protection in here, so y'all deal with that person as y'all see fit. All right. So, getting back to what we were saying about the single baby. Okay, the mother making a terrible and dreadful decision on giving up one. Well, actually, the auntie did it. Well, we don't know if she did it or not. All we know is the son went and led the boy away at night and left him under the Ben Franklin Bridge. But my whole problem with this is that how there's no black men involved in this story. Every time we have stories like this, there are no black men involved doing any. Okay, go on mute, please. Dave? Yeah, my problem with these stories is that there's never a black man in the story doing anything worth a damn. There's always the black mother doing everything she can. There's always the black mother who's struggling. There's always the black mother who's robbing Peter to pay Paul. There's always the black mother who has to make a decision. And in this case, you have a black woman that has to make a decision between one child surviving over the other. It shouldn't be put in these kinds of situations. There should be a father or an able-bodied male somewhere that can help her with this child. But again, it's the same story. And we want to blame our black women for doing everything they possibly can. And we don't give any energy to the father. No smoke for the father. There shouldn't be a situation where a black mother who has two boys has to make a decision on one of their survival. on one of them surviving over the other because she can't feed both of them. That should never happen. That should never happen. Dang.
Yeah, that should never happen. There always should be a man. Um, Even when the father is not in the picture, either uh, by choice or not. You know.
Yeah, there should be a man somewhere. And like I said, people have the nerve to tell me I don't hold black women accountable. Well, this is one of the reasons why I don't. It's one of the reasons why I don't. Okay. And so let's move on to the last part of what we was talking about an environment is like a big old house, right? There's the other part of why I don't hold black women accountable for nothing. You see, it's the man's job to, you know, tame the environment for his women and children and his people. He has to tame the environment. So once he tames the environment, he sets the laws in that environment. It's kind of like your house, right? If you got a big old house and you have rules in the house, say you don't want people wearing hats in your house, but you never tell them that. You don't make that a standard for when people come into your house, right? And so people come into your house and they don't know not to wear hats in your house. They wear them anyway. And if you don't tell them, people keep wearing hats in your house. Now, 2 generations later, everybody's wearing hats. Then someone comes along and say, well, you're not supposed to wear hats in this house. Well, it's too late now. We've been wearing hats in this house for 20 years. The damage is done. So the environment is kind of the same way. If you don't set up any rules in your environment, then the people in your environment are going to behave according to how the environment is set up. It's called rules and laws. Like if we didn't have any laws right now, some people would just get out here and just start killing people nonstop. Some people are so rotten to the core inside and have no regard for life that they will go and kill as many people as they can. Some people want to hunt other people. A hunter is a killer, people. A hunter's a killer. You have to be able to kill to hunt. That's the purpose of hunting, killing. They'll say, well, you know, we disguise it by saying, well, we do it to survive, but it's still killing. You have people out here who want to hunt other people because they have no regard for life. So we didn't have any laws in place. You would have people like that out here free to roam to kill anybody who they want to kill. So you have to tame the environment, right? You have to have laws in the environment to dictate the behavior in the environment. So as a leader in the environment, when you tame it and you don't set up the laws, you don't set up the rules, then the people in your environment will behave according to what's in the environment. Now, if you have an environment where you pumping and dumping, you know, you pimping, pumping and dumping, pimping, twerking, then you're going to have women who are going to grow up in that environment. And that's all they're going to know. So they're going to develop according to what's in that environment. So now you're going to have twerkers. You're going to have women who are into prostitution. You're going to have women who are into just having quick sex. Right? Now you have to understand something. These terms go against the natural order of things because it's not meant for you to be fornicating, even though some of you think that, you know, fornication is a cool thing because it feels good, right? But fornication doesn't bring you any happiness. It doesn't bring you that relationship. It doesn't bring you that oneness with your mate, that soulmate, right? You will never achieve that because you're in the fornication. Fornication doesn't bring that about. So when you're in your environment, and your environment, right, encourages fornication, then you're going to have a large contingent of people in your environment fornicating. And that's going to breed wild behavior, rebellious sexual behavior. So when you have that kind of environment, when you have that kind of environment, and you have those kinds of rules set up in that environment, then you can't blame the women and the men in that environment for behaving the way they behave. If twerking is okay, you can't blame the woman for twerking because you said it was okay. You're the leader in the environment, so you said twerking was okay. Why? Because you out there twerking. You're twerking too, and then you're allowing other women to twerk, and you are you're condoning it. You're putting money in their G strings and stuff, right? So in this environment, it's okay to twerk. So the women coming up see this, the girls coming up see this, they're going to think it's okay to twerk too because it's been allowed by the leadership. You go to the Asian man's community, you won't see his woman out there twerking in his community because he doesn't allow that. His community has a whole different set of rules. His women don't get out in the middle of the street and start twerking. Everywhere his women go with him, they don't just jump on somebody's furniture and start twerking. They don't go and disrespect the rules of other people's restaurants and jump on their furniture and counters and shit and start twerking. Because he has an environment that does not allow that. And the women in his environment have grown and developed to understand and respect that that's not something that a woman does. That's the behavior that is unbecoming of a woman. Right? And so they don't do it. They don't engage in it. So when you have an environment over here with black men where you are the leaders and you're the main ones talking about pumping and dumping, talking about the least desired dating ass, twerking, talking about she getting low, shake that booty, putting money in the G-strings. You're encouraging all of that. So then you can't sit up here after you've encouraged all of that and allow that in your environment. You can't sit up here and call black women strags because you glorify pimping in your environment. You allow pimping to be in your environment. You allow macking to be in your environment. So when the women adjust to this kind of environment, you can't sit up there and call them names. You can't sit up there and say they're doing the wrong thing. They're following your leadership. They think this is okay. Why? Because you deemed it okay. You're out in front of it. You're the main one perpetuating it. You're the one running around here dressed like a drag queen with a stable of women. You're the one running around here being effeminate and twerking all down the floor. Have y'all seen these male dancers lately that are all on the floor twerking and getting and doing spaghetti legs and got their legs as wide open as women? Have y'all seen that? All these male twerkers?
Unfortunately, yes.
Booty shakers, hip gyrators, males. So when you're down there gyrating your hips, twerking, shaking your booty, your ass is out, what kind of example are you leading for the women? The younger women see this, and they see the men doing it. They don't think nothing's wrong with it. Why? Because the men are the leaders. They don't think nothing wrong with it. So you can't set up this kind of environment and blame the women for behaving that way. Can't do that. You don't get to do that. or if you've allowed a bad element in your environment, where you got dudes snatching chains, shooting people, robbing stores, going to jail for a living, and they seem to be all in the neighborhood. Every time you turn around, the conversation amongst young black men is about, yo, man, JoJo getting ready to come home. Word? Yeah, man, he just did a 5-year bid, man. This girl did that bid with him. Word? Yo, man, what about Mooney in there? Yo, man, Mooney get ready to come home next week. I mean, when the average conversation amongst young black males is who's getting ready to come home from being incarcerated, that's a bad look. So when you have that kind of men in the environment, right? Men who go to jail all the time, well, guess what? That's like the origin of absentee fathers, because the men are always going to jail. So they don't get a chance to see what it's like to stay in the house and take care of their children. Going to jail all the time. Why? Because you haven't taught them anything. You haven't taught them to respect authority. You haven't taught them any skills so they can build and make money for themselves. You haven't taught them, you haven't guided them anywhere. You've left them in the street. So they turn into criminals who can't stay home. Criminals who then turn into absentee fathers. They develop that mentality of an absentee father. They're never home because they're always locked up. And that's your fault as a black man. But you haven't taught them anything. You haven't taught them not to be locked up. You haven't taught them respect for authority. You haven't taught them how to go out here and make money, get a job, build a home, save money. You haven't taught them anything. You've allowed the streets to turn them into criminals. And so the streets kills two birds with one stone. They turn them into criminals and absentee fathers. They ain't used to taking care of no kids. They're locked up all the time. Can't get used to taking kids. You can't get used to taking care of kids if you're always locked up. You can't get used to being in the home taking care of your family if you're always locked up. And then you have to understand something, right? Your woman is race loyal. So she's in her environment looking for a decent man. Well, there are none. So now she has to choose the best from the worst. So say if all Pookies and Ray Rays are bad, right? She got to go out there and find the best Pookie or Ray Ray. But she's still getting a Pookie or a Ray Ray. He's still getting a bad dude. He just ain't as bad as other dudes. So it's a no-win situation. It's a losing hand. And again, this is your fault. You've allowed this to happen. And this happens because you don't want to raise your boys. You don't teach your boys nothing. You don't guide your boys. You don't teach them anything. You don't raise them. Now you got an environment filled with Pookies and Ray Rays, thugs and killers. And this is all that the black woman in her environment has to choose from. So when that happens, there's no way you could say that she needs to choose better. There's nothing better to choose from. You haven't given her a variety of good men to choose from. You've only given her a variety of bad men to choose from. Pookie is a little bit less bad than Ray Ray. Ray Ray is a little bit less bad than the thug down the street. The thug down the street is a little bit less bad than the killer around the corner. So when you left her in this kind of situation, and she tries her best to choose the right dude, can't blame her for choosing wrong because you left her no good choices. You haven't. Actually, you stacked the deck against her. And you've forgotten what your job is supposed to be as a man, right? You're supposed to tame the environment and turn that environment into a salubrious environment so your women can nest and thrive with the children. You failed to do that. You let your environment turn into a wasteland, a cesspool of corruption that breeds all kinds of bad behavior and broken mentalities. You got the nerve to point the finger to someone else. I mean, let's talk about that for a second. You have the nerve, the audacity to point the finger somewhere else. And you don't think anything's wrong with that. You don't have no problem coming out showing your face on about, hey, I'm pointing the finger at someone else. You don't think anything's wrong with that. I mean, how bodacious? I mean, you got nerve to come out here and you're the fault of just about everything in the community. I don't know if there's anything in the community that isn't your fault. I haven't found it yet. And you got the nerve to point your fingers elsewhere? You got the nerve to blame somebody else? Man. So this is why I don't blame black women for hardly anything at all. There's another reason why I say they can do no wrong. Because you as a black man could do no right. I said before, I think it's a fair exchange. Until the black man does right, then we'll talk about the black woman doing wrong. But as long as you're doing wrong, no. As long as you're not doing right, then she can do no wrong. I think that's a fair exchange. Until the black man can do right, the black woman can do no wrong. Ladies, y'all want to come in here? Give me your take.
Right. Yeah. When the black men haven't stopped what they are doing, black men, we are not doing anything wrong because black men are the father, they are the head of the family. And we, the black women, we are copying everything that they are doing. So whenever they will not stop or they will not doing their right thing, we women will be following, doing their nasty thing they're doing. We're going to do the same thing. So now black men have to understand that, hey, women are doing whatever they're doing because of you. You are not doing the right thing. That is why the ladies or the women, we have learned from you.
Okay.
Yeah. So black women are trying to work with the environment you left them. So they taking what they can and trying to make the best of it. Okay, so you have an issue with the way she parent, then you be there to parent. You have an issue the way she's raising the children, then you come in and raise the children. You got to be there before you can criticize how she does things. You know, you saying the community is going down because of her. You get off your lazy behind, get into the community, and correct and do things that the correct what she's doing wrong, because she's trying to do the best she can with what she got. Hmm. Yeah, you are the leaders of the community. If you're not leading the community, then you're leaving the community leaderless. And so it's the leader that's at fault, not the people that works with them or underneath the guidance of the leadership. If you're not there to guide how the community is supposed to go, then it's your fault. The community is going downhill.
Exactly. You let everything fall to pieces. It's your responsibility. As a black man, the community, the environment is your responsibility. And if you let it fall in ruins, it becomes corrupted. You cannot complain about the behavior that is bred from it, or the behavior that comes about because of it. You want black women to stop twerking and shaking their butt and doing better, then you have to set that kind of environment. And then you have to be an example, a good example, so that she can see that, you know what, maybe this is something I shouldn't do as a lady. Maybe maybe this type of behavior is unbecoming of a lady. No one in my environment think that this is cute. Maybe I should stop. But she won't even think about that if there's no incentive in that community to make her even think about it. And then you don't respect your women. Women walk around in our community seeing black men disrespect one woman after another. What kind of toll do you think that takes on them? Do you think that in return that they're going to respect you after they watch you disrespect one black woman after another in the community? See, when you get your women thinking that when you get your women thinking that no one respects them or you don't respect them, man, that's problematic. That's problematic. Listen, if you go and you build a community right now that has a strong environment, right? Strong family values. The men are in the community, protect the community. They're good fathers. They're good, upstanding men, men of integrity and stuff like that. Man, you know how many black women will go flooding that community? It'd be so bad. There would be lines. You know how bad black women are looking for black men to lead? You wouldn't be able to keep them out of that environment. But you haven't made such an environment. Your environments are all corrupted. It's, have cesspools of demonic energy, and the males are effeminate. They're sniffing each other butts. That's another thing you've allowed to happen in your community. You've allowed the destruction of masculinity. There's no manliness in your communities anymore. So you have communities now of women who think that they are more manly than the men are. So you got women, I'm starting to hear conversations more and more. I'm having conversations more and more with women who can fix cars, who can lay sheetrock, who can frame out walls. That's supposed to be a man thing. I'm starting to have conversations with women who know more about cars than I do, who know the right tools to use when you're framing out walls, studs, beams, measurements, all of it. And when you talk to the dudes, they don't know anything about this stuff. Hey, man, you know how to change your thermostat? Man, what's that? Well, it's the thing that regulates your temperature of your antifreeze. I mean, if it's wrong, you're going to have overheating problems. Now, man, I just called AAA, man. Talk to a woman, she done changed out the damn thermostat. They can have a conversation with you about, yeah, I know my my car was overheating, and I knew it wasn't a problem with the radiator. So I checked the thermostat, tested it to make sure it was working. It wasn't working. So I went by the auto parts store, got a new one, and put that thing in there, and and everything was fine. This is a conversation I'm having with a woman, telling me about changing the thermostat. Something that a man should be doing. Something that a man should know how to do. I got women talking to me about doing I forgot what it's called. Where you change all the spark plugs and the filters and shit. A tune-up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Got women talking to me about tune-ups, doing their own tune-ups. A tune-up, people. I have conversations with women who can do tune-ups. Where are the men? These women don't even need men anymore. They're changing their own time. They're changing shit. They buying whole sets. Tune-ups. Putting shoes on a ride. The only thing I haven't heard a woman do yet talking about she changed out of timing change. I'll talk to women who put in water pumps. I'll talk to women who fix their ACs, put in their own radiators. Where are the men? Where are the men? You got the men running around here talking about some girly shit. Man, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get my hands dirty, man. I ain't got the money. I'll just leave it. I'll just call AAA. If they can't do it, somebody gonna have to pay somebody to do it. But why can't you do it, man? I don't want to get my hands dirty, man. You see the clothes I'm wearing? That's the conversation I'm having with the average male. You don't want to get his hands dirty. You got women out here fixing their cars, tune-ups, all kinds of shit. Oh, sorry, that nigga don't want to get his hands dirty. Where are the men at? Ladies?
Okay. The men are somewhere getting their hair done, their nails done, shopping for clothes. Renaissance man said, I disagree on that point. My black aunts in the South always knew how to hang drywall, lay tile, landscape, etc. Now, what is new is dudes not knowing how to. Yeah, but that's because her father taught her those things. I have a church member. Her father taught him all that because he had nothing but girls, and he taught them
Okay,
all kind of stuff.
okay, Ricky Bobby Toe, whatever the hell your name is. Let me explain something to you, right? Don't come in here with all of this excuse shit. Okay? You're not slick. You're not smart. You're not talking over anybody's head. Okay? You're not going to come in here and blame black women for having lousy black leaders in the community. That's not the black woman's fault. That's the man's fault. It's the man is supposed to raise strong leaders, not the woman. So don't come here with this patriarchal fucking nonsense from the manosphere. Again, you're not smart. You're not clever. You're not talking over anybody's head. You're trying to be slick and blaming black women for there being no leaders in the community. It is not going to work here. It is the man's responsibility to raise strong leaders. That is not the woman's responsibility. Okay? The women don't choose leaders. The men make them. All right, so you can take your manosphere shit and stick it up your ass. When are you niggas gonna understand that that shit don't work in here? Dame and Abby.
Yeah.
Yo, deal with that Ricky Bobby comment, please. Ricky Bobby Toe. Dame, Abby, are
Okay,
you
in
there?
a free and modern society.
Abby.
Yes, I'm here. I'm taking my medicine, so please give me a few
Okay.
minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
In a free and modern society, man can only be the leader if he's chosen by women to be one to have a prosperous patriarchy community. There has to be a strong pattern, women selecting good men. You talking about her choosing her husband? You know, that's what you're talking about? Okay. No, leadership is a
Drop
man.
the link.
Drop the drop the
Yeah,
link.
drop the link. Okay, guys, we get ready to open it up. Looks like we got some trolls that want to spar with us. So we're gonna drop the link. Anybody want to come up? Seems like Mr. Ricky Bobby told him threw down the gauntlet with this manosphere nonsense. We are more than happy to oblige.
Not to mention, if that's the case, then you making women the leaders,
Yeah, yeah.
not men.
He's trying to take what he's trying to do with that statement is effectively right alleviate the man from his responsibility by taking the job of him training leaders out of his hand and put it in the hands of the woman. So basically, he's trying to take all the blame off the men and put it on the women. He's trying to tell you that the reason why there are no good leaders and all the leaders are bad is because the women chose them. That's all he's trying to do.
Uh-huh. So, in other words, he's saying that to me that black men are not naturally leaders. That they have to have a woman make them a leader.
This is wrong. How will he say that a black women have to be there before a man have to be a natural leader? See, a man have to be a leader for a woman because we women we are there to protect the men, even show them the right way to have been or to go, but not them to be the leader or we will take over their leadership. A woman can be a leader when there is no man. But when the man is there, a man have to take his responsibility being a leader. So what he's saying, I disagree with him. Whether he is a man or a guy, I don't know. I disagree with him.
Yeah, and the woman's supposed to have the man's back while he's facing forward and dealing with the things in the community, the enemy and stuff like that. She has his back to protect his back and to see what's going on behind him, so she can inform him what's going on behind his back. She's not in the lead position. She is the helper at his back. But once he takes his place and leads, she can have his back.
Yeah, well, again, this is this manosphere weak shit. What he's trying to do is take away the man's responsibility.
Yeah, I don't understand men being those so kind of weak and they cannot even protect themselves and their family and their women. Because when you being strong, being a man have to have a big heart for everything. Why is you getting a big heart for everything? You've been protecting your woman, showing your woman the right way he have to be. But if you are not strong, how can you show your woman? How can you show your wife? And you talking about a woman have to be there before a man can be strong. Who tells you that?
Right. And Auntie, yeah, Auntie, it's according to him, it's your fault that they're felons.
Shoot. Okay. Women do not choose felons. If they choose a felon, that's because they were married to him or involved with him before he became a felon. Or out of the community, the felon is the one that's behaving like the man. He's taking leadership. He's doing stuff like that. We don't go out our way to pick felons, to pick bad guys. If that happens, is because we either been lied to. Well, I think it's more often than not we've been lied to. The guy presented himself as a good guy.
Right. So as we saying all those things, let me go over here again. What Auntie is saying is a right. We have to blame the men because when you do your right things, when you do your right choices, your right job, as a man have to do, ladies or women are going to be the kind of women you want. But because you are not accepting your mistake and you are blaming the women for everything, that's why you cannot fix yourself. And you'll be talking about women have to be fixing you. A woman can fix you, but you, the man, you have to fix yourself before you go ahead blaming a woman.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The problem is that that y'all are really mad at your fathers before y'all and never taught you these things. Uh, never taught y'all how to build, to be leaders, how to provide and protect, finance. They never taught you. They left you. They left you there, left you hanging in the breeze. Uh, um, they weren't there, they weren't involved into your life, and then they want to come in later and they have these excuses, but you want to believe those excuses so badly that you accepting the lies that they telling you. And because women are doing because they have to, there are no men there doing this. A lot of it's because they have to. Their fathers taught them, uh, um, or their fathers, uncles, big brothers, grandfather, because they were seeing that there were no good Negroes out there, no good men out there. The first time I ever heard it, and plenty of time after, was my grandfather. My mom didn't even say that, and she could be pissed off at him. Hmm.
Right.
So it
Yeah, I
was
think
other men that said that there was y'all were not good men. There was other men who said y'all was that y'all was no good Nagas. It was other men that was first saying, "I don't know what you women are gonna do." I'm seeing the men that are out there, and they're not good men. There's too few good men. So they teaching their daughters how to take care of cars. They teaching their daughters how to do stuff that men would normally do because they weren't going to be there forever. They knew that, and they don't believe there was going to be a man there to take care of that. And took that, she learned how to do it out of necessity. You know, women learn stuff and do stuff out of necessity. Stuff that they
yes,
didn't normally tackle. And then once they tackle it, they start doing it more and more. So it's not black women's fault that y'all not stepping up into your leadership role. Been waiting for you, begging you, trying to steer you towards it. We're not doing it no more. You either gonna step up and lead or you're not. But in the meantime, she got stuff she got to do, things that need to get done, stuff that need to be repaired, children to take care of, business to run, jobs to do. And that's what y'all supposed to be doing. Stop worrying about what we're doing. Take care of your own stuff. Take care of your business. Do your job. Run your business. Build whatever. Learn to fix stuff. You don't know it already. Learn to.
right. Do what you know you can do to fix your own than rather putting your eyes in the women's own, because you cannot fix the women's own for them. You have to fix your own. Let everybody know that, hey, you the man, you doing your right thing, you doing what you as a man have to do, and let the people follow you see that, hey, this is a real man we are looking for in the community, in the country that we are. This is the man we are looking for. But don't be putting your eye in women's soup. Women, we are trying our best to do what we can do. So what's you men you doing?
Yeah.
Can, Can you hear
Uh,
me?
oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got into my little rant. I forgot you. I didn't mean
No,
to forget you. Okay.
no, you're
Okay.
fine. I don't want to
Go ahead.
interrupt. Continue.
Hmm.
No,
Oh
continue. I don't
no.
want to interrupt unless you're done.
Let's see. I was finna say something. Um, yeah, yeah. Instead of saying women need to choose better, don't you think you should be stepping up to the men and saying you should be acting better? You should you should be a better, because I know you know a bunch of dudes or some dudes or at least one dude that ain't doing his job as a father. He ain't doing his job as a husband or ex-husband or whatever. He's not being on the up. I know there's got to be at least one. And don't keep bringing felons and stuff like that. As Manuel Brick said, hey, if felons make mistakes and stuff like that, but they can get themselves together. No, y'all not going to use felons as a as an excuse to make y'all feel better. Oh, at least I'm not a felon, because I'm hearing the at least I got a job thing, but yet they're not doing what they're supposed to do. You know that you the better, make yourself look better or feel better. Because if you gotta tear down another person to make yourself feel better, you got some problems. Okay, I'm done. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna add that I think a lot of from what I've heard when I hear the rhetoric of a lot of men want sort of earn unearned privilege. Um, they want people to follow them without really giving them a reason to follow. Um, it's kind of like a lower bar of manhood in the sense of you just want someone to follow you just because you're a man. You don't really have to earn your following, which is backwards to me. But my whole thing that I always saw through, like that's why I don't really go too much into the manosphere, was that just from experience, as a man, when you really have your stuff together and you're moving in the right direction, like women will want to be a part of it. You really won't even have to really seek them out. They'll almost seek you out at times. Um, just in the sense of like if you're going about your business and you know, they see that you're taking care of things or you're on it, you're being proactive, you're not being reactive, you have a plan and all that. Just by like interacting with you, they'll just let you know. They'll make themselves. You'll know that hey, if this is a woman that you want to pursue and bring in what you're doing, she'll make it pretty clear that she's open to following your lead and where you're going. A lot of times when I hear people say that they can't do this, they can't do that, when you really start to press these people on what's going on, what they're doing, uh, you start to see their flaws. It's sort of like with YouTube, you can only really see one side of the coin. You don't get to see that. You only get to take people at face value. You don't really get to, unless they're open and honest, you don't really get to really get to know them and see what their shortcomings or what they may not be doing or what led to the situation they're in. Y'all still there?
Yeah, yeah. Family calling.
What do you
Okay, so I'm here. Um. Okay, so yeah, yeah. You're right. Men do have to earn the leadership. That's like them asking. They saying that women should submit. Well, we're supposed to submit to the leadership. Um, leadership. But if you're not being a leader, you're not doing leader things. How are we going to submit to you? You ain't shown that. We can't submit to every man. In fact, we'll even point out that it's not meant for us to submit to every man. You know, but yeah, you part of it is you got to show. But first, you got to step up to to um, step up into a leadership role. Gotta do something, even if you fail at it or you make a mistake. You're doing. You just take the failure and learn from it and do better. But these dudes ain't even doing that. They whining and crying and saying that we're preventing them from doing stuff, which does not sound like a leader. You know, leaders, if you honestly you have a plan, you believe this is the way to go. Why are you whining and crying about us? Just go ahead and do it.
No, you
How can
yeah,
we
you're right.
prevent you? Are we tying you to a chair?
No, you're right. People who are leaders don't really. You don't wait for people's approval or wait for people to say, okay, this is what I think you should go and do, or, I approve of this plan. You just go do it if you have convictions about it. And then after the fact, you'll have people will be like, oh, I didn't even see that, or I didn't even notice that, or they'll just see the result you got. You have to take the initiative.
Yeah. And they want to take the initiative about the wrong thing. They want to take the initiative to pointing finger at the woman, which she's not doing. It's her fault. You know, everything is her fault. Excuse you, if you letting her do it, or if you going with what she's saying, it's your fault. You made that decision. To let her stop you. They want to blame the children, the way the children are on the women. Okay, woman by herself trying to raise kids, put food on the table, put clothes on the back, a roof over the head. She's gonna be working. She's not gonna be able to keep an eye constantly on the children. That's why part of the arguments for the ending of the quarantine was to get the kids to go back, have the kids back into the school, because the parent was being called back to work, so there was not going to be anybody there to watch the children, because they try to work while the kids are at school, and make sure the child is there for the digital schooling. There's a lot of single parents that would love to homeschool, digital school their children, but they can't because they're by themselves. They don't have the support.
That hurts.
The ones that they got support like from their parents.
That hurts our community a lot too, because if you've seen all the stuff that's going on with schools and like how they don't want like critical race theory and really just history in general, real history taught in school, you need homeschooling now more than ever almost.
Yeah.
But the problem I have with all this, now you have this new phase, right? Critical race theory. Months ago, it was quantum physics. Months ago before that, it was vibration. Or months ago before that, it was higher state of consciousness. See, all these distractions are distractions to us because we don't have a power base. We don't have a base. There's no base. We have no base. We have nothing established. So we can't really involve ourselves in critical race theory or the latest intellectual saying. We have no base. We're working from no foundation, no base, no beginning, no anything. We have to build a community first. We don't have any of those. Where are our communities that aren't owned and controlled by foreigners? Show me the black communities that are owned and controlled by black people. And I'll tell you, that's where we need to start.
You got a few up here in DC.
That's where we need to start.
Like PG County. I don't know if you've heard of it, because I know you're in Virginia.
Right.
Like all that area. Fort Washington. You had a few, you got a historic I believe it's Bowie Beach here. Highland Beach. Used to be a black beach. You got a few enclaves of just like where historically black folks have had multi-generational wealth here in the DC area. You know, especially if you're someone who's a local. But you know, traditionally, traditional areas is like in the Beltway, DC. Those areas are starting to gentrify.
And where are those communities? How come they aren't out in the forefront? How come we don't talk about these communities? How come we don't use these communities as a model for other communities?
I mean, they're out there. I think it's just kind of like where, I mean, like I said, going back to where you really going to, unless you hear word of mouth or you grew up in the area, you're really not going to have too many networks besides like I've heard, like they talked about BG County on Black News Channel, as well as DeSoto, Texas was in the news a little bit some years back, another more affluent type of Black area, but you just don't hear it talked about much. Most people just focus on, you know, the negative. Atlanta's got, you know, Atlanta too. You got like South Fulton, Sandtown in Atlanta. You got some nice areas there too. But once again, those areas you're talking about are major areas outside of big metros that have historically always had, you know, middle class, upper middle class, well-to-do type of Black folks. You know, a lot of us, a lot of people don't realize it, but a lot of us don't even live around major cities. A lot of us still live in the country.
Well, at some point, we're going to have to establish something. We don't have any wealth in this country. We don't really own any serious property. We can't get really successful businesses started to the point where they impact our race because we don't have any built-in markets. People just want to start businesses, you know, willy-nilly. What kind of businesses you're going to start, and where is your market? Because if you're going to try to sell to the international community, good luck, because they don't buy stuff from Black people unless you have a business that solely caters to them. Okay, so where's your market? You don't have a community, so you don't have a market. So what businesses are you starting? You know, we're putting the cart before the horse. You know, we have to establish ourselves first. We need a community. Our money don't bounce in our community anymore at all. Hell, it doesn't even bounce. It passes from Black hand to foreign hands. Okay? Doesn't bounce at all. It goes straight out of the damn community now. It may as well be falling out of a water faucet. There's no Black dollars in the Black community anymore. None whatsoever. Black people are shacking in communities with foreigners. And the foreigners control that community. They control your destiny in that community. Okay? They employ their people off of your money in your community and treat you like crap. How is it that you support people in your community who call you the N-word, or who throw things at your children trying to harm them? Why do you go back in there and support them? Why do you patronize their businesses? Why aren't you choking those businesses out by not going into those businesses and spend a dime? If you go into a white neighborhood, and I've seen this several times, you go into a white neighborhood, open up a business. I've seen it happen to an Arab dude. They won't go in there and buy anything from you. If they know that they have the majority in that town, they won't buy a damn thing from you because they know that you need their money to survive. For some reason, Black people don't get that. You are the majority in the community because the owners are a minority. They own all of the property in the neighborhood, have all the businesses in the neighborhood, but as far as sheer numbers, you are the majority. You can choke them out, but you don't do it. White people will do it to you. Chinese people will do it to you. They won't buy a thing from you. Matter of fact, when I used to go into that store, he used to tell me, man, these white people are racist. They come in here, read my newspapers, strike a conversation up with me, close my newspapers up, and walk out and won't buy a thing. So they're coming in and make fun of you why they won't buy anything from you. Because they know eventually you're going to have to leave because you can't survive. That's how you get businesses out of your neighborhood effectively. Don't patronize them. Some reason Black people can't do that. You talk to Black people, oh, I need my Chinese food. I need the Arab chicken joint down the corner. Yeah, I know he was shooting at my son the other day, but hey, man, he makes some good chicken. Chinese man I don't know what he's selling, but hey, it's Chinese food. Can't get these people out of your neighborhood. They're draining all of the resources and finances. And financial resources out of your community, and you ain't doing anything to stop it. That's why your communities are falling in the ruin, because you don't have the money to maintain them. And the foreigners in your community, they're not there to maintain your community either. They're there to drain it dry and make as much money as they can off of you. Once the shit fall, right, they gone. And then they're gonna come back in and gentrify it anyway. So it's like killing two birds with one stone. They drain you of all your resources, then you ain't got nowhere to go. The community falls in ruins. They come in, sweep up the garbage, and gentrify it. Now you ain't got no win at all. It's the same shit that keep happening over and over and over again to black people. But yeah, we sit up here talking about critical race theory, the hottest saying now. What's next? We can't afford to be getting involved in these distractions. We don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. Somebody needs to go buy a pot that we can start pissing in. And then somebody else needs to go find a window so we can throw the piss out the window. At least that's a start. Sound check.
Now I can hear you. The only thing I was gonna say is on the critical race thing is that's been around since the 70s. It was a black man who actually started it. It's just gotten hyped now because people in the media are trying to use it on the right as a political tool.
Right. Another distraction. It's being used as a distraction. You got black people on here who should be trying to help black people deal with these situations in this community where these kids are murdering children, have been distracted by this critical race theory shit. That's our MO, man. We are bound to be distracted. This is why we can't build a damn thing, can't maintain anything, and we don't own anything, and we don't have any wealth in this country. Don't have any power. You got people running around here talking about black politics. Are you insane? There's no such thing as black politics. You have no power.
Now, Max, have you heard of the book by Charles Blow called Real Black Power?
No.
You should check that book out. Essentially what he argues is that he basically argues that with the Great Migration, basically a bunch of black folks basically spread out, went to California, the Northeast, the Midwest, all of that. He's advocating basically return to the South. He's basically saying that if people return to the South, vote in numbers as a block, move to places like North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, places where, it's a large black population, but it's not enough to take the majority, that if people basically had a reverse migrate, basically I even think he does an analysis that basically if it never happened, looking at like how many state houses we would control, governorships, how many electoral votes, like you could determine, like that's basically his thing, which some of that's happened anyway, because the Northeast has gotten so expensive in other places that black folks are moving back anyway. Get a family there, but that's essentially his thesis is then, once you're in control of those institutions, you'll really have influence as far as, setting policy, changing the economic landscape, business, getting money for businesses, all of those things. So I just recommend you check out the book. Right.
But you see, but here's my thing about books, right? When it comes to black people, I don't recommend reading books because black people don't do anything when they read books. They just read books for the sake of reading books so they can have colorful conversations or intellectual debates amongst each other about who read the most or who retained most of the information and who can regurgitate the most information that they read. They don't do anything with these books. Okay, Dr. Claude Anderson got some powerful books out there. I don't hear anybody people talking about reading those. You know why? Because in his books, it requires you to go out and do something. Black people don't want to do anything. Okay? Other people, when they read books, other races, they read books, right, to go out and effectively make a change. Black people don't do that. Black people just read books for the sake of reading books for entertainment. You ever read, Powernomics, Black Wealth, Black Labor, White Wealth? These are powerful books of instruction. I don't hear black people walking around talking about reading them books. It's always books about somebody who I've never heard of, who had a theory 2,000 years ago that nobody's paying attention to in the first place, and no one is trying to implement. They just want to bring it up in a conversation to have a so-called intellectual discussion, some over-bloated intellectual discussion about something that they're not going to do. That's why when it comes to black people, I don't recommend reading books. I only recommend reading certain books. Okay, we need to do something, not just sit around and read books for the sake of just having intellectual conversation. Other races of men read books to go out and conquer, to go out and learn things. People read Sun Tzu, and when I implemented what Sun Tzu said about war and got results. Black people read Sun Tzu and go and have an intellectual debate and do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Hell, they don't even use, they're killing each other and don't even use the strategy on each other. You understand what I'm saying? Don't do nothing. That's why I'm not impressed. No disrespect. When cats tell me that they well read, I'm not impressed. Well read, but you produce nothing. Well, other races of men are well read, they got production behind being well read. They go out and produce and learn from what they read. Black people don't do that. They just read for the sake of reading and don't implement a goddamn thing. Oh, you're well read, but you produce nothing. In the grand scheme of things, I think that's become the norm amongst black folks, right? To be unproductive, but being well read. That's why I said, right? We're well read, but we are the least productive man on this planet. There's no race of man on this planet that we produce equal to or more than. We are in dead last place, but we're well read.
But I don't even think we're well read. I mean, judging from what is some of the stuff I hear, I don't even think people are really reading like that.
Yeah.
No, I think they just reading the title of books, the name of authors.
Just read it just to have debates. Hey man, did you read Dr. Zeus? No. Did you read Black Dr. Zeus? Oh, he was black? Yeah, Black Dr. Zeus wrote a book. About what? About how black cats behave around white cats. Oh, let me go check it out. And then there's something in there about, right, in that book that's critical, right? Well, the reason why black cats behave crazy around white cats is because the white cats are racist. I mean, we've reduced ourselves to a race of trolls. While everybody's out here producing, earning, building, we are sitting around trying to live off of what other people have done. Live off stuff in the past. Sitting around here talking about slavery. Sitting around here talking about Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, Thurgood Marshall. All these old ass conversations that we've been talking about for damn near 100 years. And living off white people. We don't want to build anything. We don't want to, teach our own kids. I talked to an Indian dude one time, right? He told me that he thinks black people are crazy. I said, why do you think that? He said, you let somebody who don't look like you or sound like you or walk or talk like you or think like you teach your children? He said, in India, we would never allow that.
Nah, you're right. I mean, I'll never forget. I was on a panel with someone one time, and he pointed out one of the most prominent scholar on the civil rights movement is a white guy.
And civil rights was nothing about fucking being with white women. I used to think that the women were, tripping out when they said, well, black women, the reason why they back civil rights because they wanted the rights to be with white women. I went back and did some checking for myself. Started looking at certain things. Black men have been fighting for the right to be with white women since before Dred Scott.
I got this.
And listen. And even Dred Scott, right? When you pull back all the layers, right? Eventually, he wanted to be with a white woman too. Go ahead, Renaissance man.
No, I was gonna say I got to push back a little bit on the civil rights piece, only because a lot of it too was about getting equal protection under the law. As far as you had a lot of people who just pretty much had no repercussions, no repercussions any whatsoever, and a lot of it that you don't know about is not really told from this perspective. You had a lot of black women who were actually being raped as well, who really couldn't go get any justice in court. That was one of the main catalysts as well. It's just not told. There was a girl named Reese Taylor, I believe, that happened in Alabama. That was one of the more prominent ones that really got the movement going. So there was a lot of just abuse. I mean, I know what people are saying with that, but there was just a lot.
But there was
no rights.
But what's also not told was that there was a large contingent of men who was definitely interested in the rights under the law because they didn't want to be lynched, for being seen in public with white women. So their interest in civil rights was completely different from everybody else's. They didn't want to be lynched. They didn't want to be beaten up. They didn't want to be subject to the law, for being with white women in public. There was a large number of men, in a group like that who also fought for civil rights. Like I said, when you go back to the Dred Scott case and peel back the layers, it was really about being with a white woman. That's why he went and fought, got all these rights, got his freedom or whatever. He wanted to be with a white woman. And men and Nagas have been chasing white women, since slavery. They became drunk with the white wine during slavery. Haven't got off that wine since. Still drunk with that white wine.
Hey, I did have a question. You said the Indian guy said he would never let the kids, they would never let that happen. Did you say to him that a lot of Indians send their kids to schools that are white? So that's happening. It may not be teaching about. Was he saying about the history, or was he saying teach the kids in general?
No, wait a minute. Are you talking about the Indians that come over here to this country?
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta ask him about that because I know in India, all their kids go to Indian schools taught by Indian teachers.
You talking about it in India itself, not
yeah.
This guy.
No, I'm not.
This guy wasn't talking about ones that come to America.
No, I ain't talking about Geronimo and them. I'm talking about the Hindus with the dots and all that, and the heavy traditions. The Asian Indians, the Asiatic Indians.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. They believe they're smarter than white people.
So do the Asians, like the Chinese.
Yeah.
They do too.
Yeah, they believe they're smarter than white people. So they don't need to go to white school. They're smarter than them. Africans are smarter than all of them. I can't figure out why Africa has the problems it's having.
They got bad leadership.
Yeah,
they got leadership that's been basically propped up by outsiders or just ones that are just greedy and don't care.
Yeah, I was talking to Albina in the back chat. She was telling me about the politicians over there. Man, they're awful, man. It's about as bad as the ones over here, if not worse. Terrible leadership, man. Selling your people out. I mean, the way they get treated over there, we would never stand for example, if you're working on a job, and you work for 30 days, and you waiting for your paycheck right at the end of 30 days, then your boss gonna be talking about, well, we're not going to pay you today, but I don't know, you might get paid next month. Who's gonna stand for that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, but that's the way they get treated. Albina's up here; she can tell you. Right, man, when she was telling me these things, I was like, "What? I can't believe how they being treated over there, man. It's crazy how they being treated over. We would never, the things that are going on over there, we would never, they would never get away with that over here. Never. Oh, y'all, I gotta jump off for a minute. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, yeah. Anybody else that would have been a fight, you know, after 30 days? No, you don't give me my paycheck. Well, anyway, let's see. Okay, yeah, they're talking about they went to sleep with them. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Yeah, a Bill had sent us thing about these Appalachians that are dark skinned. Come to find out, when they did the genetic testing on them, they are they are the product. They thought they were Portuguese and stuff like that, but they're a product of a black man with a European woman. I was like, what? It went far as back. Escaped slaves who who went in the mountains with their white women.
Right.
Hmm. And see, you gave them your food. Wait a minute. Didn't it, oh wait a minute. Y'all didn't have a lunch program at y'all school? It's been like, why don't you go eat yours first? Um, Although we did have a exchange student, but she was vegetarian. So, it was always a challenge for her, especially in Louisiana where we had meat and just about everything. uh, hmm Let's see. See what else is going on in chat. Oh, about Loving versus the state of Virginia. Yeah, yeah. But that was the reverse about this white man trying to fight for the right to marry a black woman. I kept wondering how that evolved. Okay, Auntie. You more generous than I would be. Well, actually, there might not have been anything left by the time they asked me for food. I'd be like, "Hey, go back in line. This is second lunch. If there's any leftovers, you can go get it. Go, go." Rick didn't answer my question. What was wrong with being a step parent? And yes, you should be married, but whether you're married or not, you should still be a father to your child. Uh, they never answer that question, Emmanuel Briggs. They're always they're always screaming and hollering about she should have chose better and stopped waiting for me to raise her marry her and raise her kids, all kind of nonsense like that. When dang it, if you don't want to marry a woman with kids, then don't marry a woman with kids. Hey, Rosie. Okay. Okay, the fact that she was a husky girl should have gave you a clue. Husky Indians mean they eat. Most of them are naturally skinny. There's a few chubby ones, but that's because they eat. So far, I've only ran into the skinny Indians.
But
Yeah.
it
Oh,
depends on
no,
the
no,
kind
no.
of food they
No, there was one that was kind of fat. He was the lazy
um,
one. Yeah. Oh, Avana. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What you were saying?
no. I was saying like okay, you were talking about skinny Indian, and I was saying it depends on the food, the kind of food they eat. That's why most of them are skinny.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for them to become Americanized enough to get fat.
They can be fat when they even come to America because then they will still be skinny because they are not ready to eat any kind of food.
Yeah. I used to feel sorry for the vegetarian Indians coming to Louisiana. You know, be like, how you gonna get away from meat when and just about all our food has meat in it? Yeah, we could switch from fish and chicken and stuff like that, but it's still meat. You know, only thing we do is some of us might eat more fish, some of us might eat more chicken, some of us might eat more beef and pork. Oh yeah, I remember my cousins coming down who's Muslim, trying to get away from the pork.
Yeah, but mostly the vegetarian people doesn't eat fish, meat, nothing. They eat only vegetables and then most of protein stuff. They don't eat those kind of meat, fish, nothing. Only vegetables. And sometimes even the egg is difficult for them to eat even egg.
Yeah.
But you see them being strong because of the food they eat is very healthy.
Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I never really tested it because I've caught them in the stores. Mardi Gras sent me to a store with a list of stuff. They wanted to follow me around, boss me around. I put them to work. I said, "Oh, you work here? You know everything? Here's my list. I'm gonna meet you at the register." hmm And then when he started sputtering, I was like, "Hey, you want us out here fast?" I talked to the dad because the dad is always where the register is. I said, "It go faster because I got a long list and I'm not leaving till I get what I gotta get."
That's it.
Unfortunately, everybody's decided to jump on my idea. The next thing you know, he was shopping for four people, including the police officer that came in. And they thought he's like, "I can't close because they want." He said, "Oh, I wasn't here to close you out. Here, I got a list of my own. Here you go." Hindu Indians don't eat beef because I think they believe that cow are deer eaters. I thought they believed that they were dead relatives. I said, I can't. I said, I don't think I can go to India because I'm gonna start calling the cows hamburger. I'm gonna have dreams of eating cows, you know. But then again, if I go to the Muslim side of the Indians, I probably might be okay. But anyway, so we getting off topic. Yeah, we're definitely getting off topic. So let's see. So the environment's like a big house. Think of the environment in the community as a mansion. And you're supposed to keep it clean. Now, you can get with a bunch of other people and help clean the mansion, or you can try doing it on your own. You're thinking, I'm just gonna keep people out of the mansion. But it's not quite that easy. You do better just trying to get them to clean up along with you. Train them up to clean up, especially, um, you know, teach them how to clean, show them how to clean as they go along, top to bottom. Get organized on how y'all gonna clean the mansion. Are y'all gonna work your way from the bottom up or from the top down? Or y'all, who's gonna do the dusting? Who's gonna do the taking out the trash? Who's gonna wash the dishes? Who's gonna wash the windows? Who's gonna sweep and mop the floors? And should the floors be waxed or not? Who's well, did I say Dustin? I did say Dustin, and then you got, and since there's people living in the mansion, let's see, you got to add the clothes washing. Who's gonna cook and feed the people and stuff like that? It'll keep growing and growing and growing. And the bigger the mansion is, the more work, the more people. So, okay, well, let's maybe mansion is too big. Let's bring it down to our house or apartments, you know, wherever we stay at. So, one person is doing all the cleaning, that person exhausted and don't have the energy to do anything else. So, what they try to do is try to break up the work over a period of days, you know. Like there's a certain day to wash clothes. There's a certain day to dust. There's days to sweep and mop. Dishes, depending on how often you eat, gonna be washed all the time. Clothes. Wait a minute, did I mention clothes? Okay, I got clothes to wash. That's why I keep going back to that. And making sure everything is stocked up. Cleaning supplies, washing supplies, food supplies. Um, Kill any critters that come that dare to cross the domain. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll take that call. Got it, Abner?
Go pick your call. Yeah, sorry, didn't have to pick his call. Yeah, as one thing we are talking about, you see the food that they be eating, and when it comes on the food that people be eating, we have to look at the way of how Indian people eat. It's not only Indian, but look at how even Africans, or look at how Ghanaians we eat. Most of us bases on our local diet, and we've been eating the healthier food. But when it comes to most of our, I would say sorry to say that nobody should be offended. When it comes to American food, it's very unhealthy. It's very unhealthy, and that is the most of the food giving people problems and killing people. If I may say that, I know people are going to be offended by their food, but we have to understand. I have been in Africa for so many years. I have been here since I was born. And if I see our food and I compare it to American food, it's very bad. That's why we have those kind of big diseases and we cannot even name them. We cannot even name them. See,
Hey, Max, you back? Dr. Claude Anderson and his books on YouTube. Well, I heard about him briefly somewhere else, but I didn't know he had wrote any books.
Yeah, I'm back, y'all.
Mhm.
All right, apparently we done drifted out to the wild blue yonder let's try to bring it back to what we were actually talking about in the first place. We were talking about single black mothers, always at the tail end of these tough stories, to where they have to make crazy decisions for their children, and there seems to be no man involved anywhere. And the man is never blamed for anything. We're not a society that looks to the leadership for being responsible. For some reason, we want to look to the people who are supposed to be led as the responsible people. We seem to have it backwards over here in America, especially in the black community is backwards. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then, again, we see, I don't put much emphasis on reading books, not for black folks. See, if you was non-black, then I would be concerned if you read a book. Because most non-blacks, when they read books with a purpose. They read books to try to improve their. Very few non-black people read books for entertainment. If they do, they read something probably for entertainment for their children. All right? But most non-black adults read books to do something, to improve, to find out how to do something, to go out and make a change somewhere. So if it was non-black people you're talking about reading books, then I would be concerned. But when it's black people, I have no concern, because black people don't read books to go out to improve anything. They read books for the sake of entertainment, or to have intellectual discussion, or to get a one-up on someone in a so-called debate. For example, if somebody says, well, I know that peanut butter sandwiches have oil, and they don't tell you about that because the oil is no good for you in the peanut butter, so don't eat peanut butter. And someone's going to talk about, well, have you ever read that book by John Joseph Black Man Ho? He wrote that peanut butter is good for you, and the oil can be taken out just by putting the peanut butter in a jar of water. And then someone's going to say, well, that's not what I heard. I read a book that said so. So now you got an intellectual debate going on. And that's as far as it goes. At the end of the day, no one is going to stop eating peanut butter, which is what they should do. Because the first book said that peanut butter is no good for you because of the oil. The oil is bad for you. And the oil is what they don't tell you about. And if you have diabetes and things like that, and you have asthma or something, you shouldn't be eating peanut butter. It's no good for you. But they tell you it's good because it's a protein. The book is telling you that they're lying, right? So nobody's going to pay that any mind. No one's going to go out and actually stop eating peanut butter because they're lying to you and peanut butter is really bad for you. It's a protein that's no good for you. It's a protein that can actually harm you, especially if you suffer from diabetes, right? You understand? So this is why I'm not impressed with black people who say they read books, because there's nothing to be impressed about, because they're not doing anything with the information that they've gotten from these books. Like I said, I will only be concerned if the person was non-black, because they have a different agenda when they read books. Black people, they just want something to talk about. They just want something to talk about, some kind of intellectual conversation, because we pretty much have been reduced to talking heads and trolls. That's pretty much what's going on here. Okay?
Right. Because they want to destroy you, and then, when they destroy you, finish, they're going to get a whole lot of money from you. So they don't want to show you the right way for you to be on. Because when you being held or you being strong, been going to the hospital to pay a huge money for them. But when you are held in, or you are in pain, you'll be going to the hospital to check everything.
Right. That's one of the reasons why they don't tell you the truth about peanut butter. A lot of y'all walking around here now thinking peanut butter is healthy for you. It's not. It's not healthy for you at all. It has oil in it. And that oil is not good for your body. Isn't that right,
Right,
Abby?
right, right. And you know what they've been doing to you? They know that maybe if you have these kind of diseases, some of the food that is not good for you to eat, they don't want to tell you because when they tell you, you're going to run away from that and your sickness is going to running away. So you are not going to be suffering from that sickness again. And that's what they don't want you to know. A lot of people are dying or having diseases or because of food that they are eating.
Let me share something with y'all about oils. What I've learned about oils, right? And when I'm done, I'm gonna tell you who educated me on this, right? I found
Okay.
out that you can actually have no, not you, Abby. You already know. I'm talking to the chat. I actually found out that you can have French fries, right? Do any of you in the chat know that French fries can be healthy for you if you know what to eat them with? See, a lot of you don't think about that, right? If you eat French fries with fried chicken, it's bad for you because of the oil in chicken, right? It's not going to stop the oil in the French fries, so you're going to have double oil in your system, which is bad for you. It's going to cause cholesterol and stuff like that. You eat French fries with a burger, same thing, bad oil, right? One more oil. But if you eat French fries with fish, it's a whole different story because fish has oil strong enough to cancel out the oil in the French fries. And so now you can have the fish with the French fries, and you won't feel an energy drain because the oil in the French fries has been canceled out by the oil in the fish. And the oil in the fish is a good oil because that's what helps you get the omega 3. That's strong enough to knock out the oil effects of the French fries. How many of y'all knew that? Abby, you want to explain it to them?
Okay. Yeah, because the fish have omega 3 oil, and the omega 3 oil is good for human body, and it cleans away some of the diseases in our body. And the French fries, look at the oil that they use to fry. Most of them use frito. It's good. They use frito to fry. But the French oil that they French fries oil, sorry, French fries oil that they're using it to fry the French fries. When you eat with a fish, the fish conquer or come over the French fries oil. So the French fries oil have nothing to do in your system,
Mm-hmm.
and you
And
are
no
going to be
longer,
strong with that.
right. It no longer affects you negatively because the oil and the effects of the oil has been canceled out by a stronger oil, the omega 3 oil.
Right,
And
right.
you can get
People
away with
be
eating.
hurt.
Huh?
Yeah, people be hurting with eating French fries with meat, French fry with chicken, and that is
Mhm.
bad stuff. That is very, very bad.
Right, because the oils in those meats and chickens aren't canceling out any oil. They're just adding to the oil. So you're just getting a double dose and a triple dose of bad oil, which is going to give you crazy cholesterol levels. Right.
Right,
So if you eat the French fries with the omega 3 is strong enough to knock out the oil in the French fries. So there, now you can get the nutrients of the potato of the French fry.
right,
Right. You can get the nutrients without the
exactly.
oil effect, which turns around gives you a boost of energy, gives you more energy.
Right. And these are some of the things they don't want to teach you,
hmm
but they don't want you to know.
And I know, right? I put it to the test, and it works, people. I haven't been sleepy all day.
Right,
Haven't yawned all day. Got crazy energy. I'm telling y'all, we just don't have the knowledge. We don't know how to eat. We don't know what food combinations do what. A lot of the
Right.
stuff that's killing us is bad food combination,
Yeah, food and water. How we drink our
right?
water.
Yup,
Food
yup.
and water.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Cold water. Something about what cold water do, Abby.
Yeah. You see, people been suffering from most disease when they drink cold water. Cold water is very, very bad to our system. See, look at how when you put oil in a refrigerator, look at how the oil turns. And so look at the symptoms of the oil is the same way when you drink cold water, it turns in your system. When you eat oil food and you drink a cold water, it's the
So,
same way.
so basically, like if you got oil in the refrigerator, right, and it chills out, it makes that thick coat. It turns into that thick brown coat, or you know like beige, whatever. Well, when you drink cold water, the same thing happens in your body.
Right.
Yeah, I do too, Mika. It took me a while to get used to it, but people drink room temperature water. Don't put your water in the refrigerator. Get used to drinking room temperature water. You know, don't chill your water. It's not healthy for you at all. You can look these things up. You know, we're not pulling your leg. It's not healthy for you at all. You know, try to learn how to drink your water. Everyone, like I said, it took me a while, but I'm used to it now. I don't put my water in the refrigerator anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is going to make you change. Your system is going to be changing. And then doctors are not going to take any money from you anymore because now you being held. You having healthy food and then your system being okay, you have no diseases in your system again. So doctors are not going
And
to take any money from you again.
yeah, and fish is very, very strong, y'all. Fish is one of those foods that you don't even have to worry about it if it's fried. It's so strong that even fried, the omega-3 is still going to work. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? It's still healthy for you. You see what I'm saying? Of course, you want to eat grilled fish as much as you can, but you can eat fried fish too.
Right.
Because the fish is so damn strong. The omega-3 oil is so damn strong. Even if being fried can't get rid of the oil.
Right, but you have to make sure when you eat with the fried fish, you have to get plenty vegetables.
Yeah.
The vegetables have to be plenty. Like maybe you have in a
Uh,
salad, you have to get cucumber, lettuce, carrots, cabbage, and those stuff. Anything that you want to do is use it. Have to be green. Everything have to be green.
hmm
Yeah, and you start this thing, you just check it out and start it for some few days and see what is going to happen to your system. You're going to tell a friend, and a friend also is going to tell a friend.
I haven't eaten meat for 5 days now, and my body is going through all kinds of changes, y'all. Now I wear glasses, right? I haven't eaten meat for 5 days, and I've changed certain things in my diet, and I'm driving without my glasses right now. And I wear glasses, but my vision has cleared up to the point to where I can see where I'm going even without them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's still a little blurry, but it's nowhere near what it used to be. I haven't had meat for 5 days. I stopped eating meat. Meat is very, very bad for us. You stop eating meat in a couple of days, watch what your body does.
Yeah,
Your body gonna
but
start changing.
it's not meat alone. You see, you be eating pizza and stuff. Pizza kills you a whole lot of. Pizza give us a diseases that we don't even know their names. Because
hmm
pizza, look at the thing that they used to do pizza. The
hmm
every blessed the people want to eat pizza. Even though we eat meat, but look at the pizza ingredient that they used to do pizza alone. It can be made more than five things. And sometimes look at the cheese they put on it. That is very bad. I will not advise anybody to eat pizza.
Hmm.
You can eat pizza if you want, but pizza is not good.
And you notice, right? There's pizza places everywhere. Pizza places and burger joints everywhere. It seems like that's the only thing white people like is pizza. Okay.
Right, right. So I know they're having pizza joint everywhere, but people have to know because most of us doesn't know the reason why. Sometimes we say we shouldn't eat
Auntie
pizza, we
said,
shouldn't eat this.
"Hey, Abby." Auntie said her mother is a vegetarian and been one all her life, and she has high cholesterol and diabetes.
You have been vegetarian for all of that. Okay,
And she has high cholesterol and diabetes from being a vegetarian.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
Not
Maybe
don't know
all
what
which
that.
kind of
vegetarians eat healthy. They just make sure there's no meat in what they're eating. That's all.
yeah,
Yeah,
because okay, the diabetes it can be a heritage something from the family. Maybe it's a family member having diabetes, or maybe a mother family members having a diabetes. That one it can be heritage. If someone is having it, or her mother or her father, that is her mother's mother or her grandfather was having it, definitely her mama is going to get diabetes.
that's strange. I never heard of a vegan with diabetes.
I have. That's because they eat a lot of cakes, cookies, candy.
So they eat like,
Uh,
oh, okay, yeah.
they eat with a oil that's not really as healthy as they think, or something like that. It could be the way they're eating or what they're eating, or as Avanon said, a combination of what they're eating.
Yeah. Even though she might be a vegetarian, but she's not trying to eat according to the rules of the vegetarians, how they eat to be. Even though they eat the vegetables, they eat all other food, but the way you combine with the food is that can give her cholesterol and the diabetes. Most of them like chewing biscuits and stuff, even though they are vegetarian. They chew biscuit a lot, and you know biscuit is from symptoms of sugar. So definitely you're gonna be okay. Yeah, sometimes too the ages also count. When you get into your menopause stages, some people's menopause starts with blood pressure, diabetes, and the high cholesterol. If you are in your menopause stages, that is how some people own be. Some people own oats also can be like, oh, you can be when they tell you something, you just forget it. You will not remember. Your retentive memory will be low. So it depends. I don't know which age she is, so I can say whatever maybe I know about.
Yeah. Yeah, but a biscuit it could be high in carbs, anti, depending on how it's made. If it's made with white flour, then that's a seriously high carb. Um,
Yeah, right. Because okay, when I know that I have seen most of your food and your breakfast, like the food that you eat as a breakfast and your lunch, all being unhealthy. Even though you see being vegetarian food, but it's not healthy. It's different from our food in Africa here. You understand? Our breakfast and our lunch and our supper food is very, very healthy. Even I can cook a soup for you alone without telling you to eat only that soup for maybe cooking for a whole lot of 1 week alone. Your system is going to change just for the soup alone because I'm not going to cook a healthy food, green, very, very green soup, and I'll put dry fish and those stuff in. You're going to be healthy. So I think the problem is from your environment, the environment that you are is being polluted. Yeah. So you catch every diseases. Any diseases come around, it's very easy to catch it. Yeah. I don't know if somebody can hear me or anything. Yeah, so we have to understand. I know sometimes for me, I understand that that is not you, that is the system that you are, and they polluted it for nobody to be healthy in the system. All the time you spend your money being in the hospital because that is what they get the money from you. So they don't want to try to tell you the good stuff that you have to get it and then you will be on sick because you can see somebody from America who is like 13, 15 years, the kind of diseases they have is very strange. Even I will tell you, my grandfather who will be like 70 or 100 years or 90 years is not even having that sickness because he been eating. We have a lot of people who wear glasses in America. I don't care about that one because of the environment, the air, and how the way it is. I understand that. But the things that they've been eating is too much.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. I was surprised when y'all told me that in Africa there's not a lot of people that wear glasses. You know, not even the elders, not even a lot of the elderly. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, Emmanuel Briggs, Hassan, y'all gonna have Nagaritis. I'm gonna be going to sleep here. Yeah, they talking about pizza. You know. Yeah, they saying it's saying I'm going. Briggs is going. I'm eating a big uh big slice of pizza, so I'm going to stay quiet. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You had a question? Is somebody going to answer my question? Let me back it up. Aaron had a question. I missed it. Okay, let's back up. Back up.
Okay.
Let me
If he
put
can,
the link in the chat. Shoot, Aaron, you can probably just come on up.
what?
Aaron, let's see. I'm trying to find Aaron's question. I've been eating grapes also. Let's see. That's not a question.
If he can ask the question again, we don't know which kind of question he asks.
Okay. So let's see. I'm waiting for Aaron to re-ask the question. Let's see. But in the meantime, Kindle is going. Sounds like they don't have no GMO in Africa. Shooks, I think GMO is illegal in Africa.
What is GMO?
Genetically modified food.
Oh, it's legal.
Okay. Okay. Aaron said I asked earlier what's the difference between a vegetarian and a vegan.
A
Okay.
vegetarian and a what?
A vegetarian and a vegan. He wants to know what's the difference between a vegetarian and a vegan.
Okay, okay. This to my little knowledge I have about. I know about vegetarian, but I don't know about vegan. So I will talk about vegetarian side. Vegetarian is someone who don't eat the food that we eat, like fish, meat. Their food that they eat is mushroom, vegetables, and then I think even egg. They don't eat egg.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vegetarians, the original vegetarians don't eat egg. Yeah, so that is their food. Their food is only two times. They eat soya beans, um, okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, vegetarians don't eat meat, but they eat meat products. They're not supposed to. Vegans don't eat any meat or meat products. They also don't eat processed food, and some of them don't believe in eating foods that's cooked too much. They as raw as possible, as they can, uncooked as possible. Okay, there's different levels of vegetarian. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, the
you see,
oval.
they have it different type of vegetarian. You see the Rastafarians vegetarians are different, and they have a churches. I think they have a churches also vegetarian that being for them also own is different. Most of them don't eat egg, but the Rastafarians, I think some of them eat egg. And we have somebody who was born and he said, I want to be a vegetarian without eating any meat, any egg, nothing. But only I'll go on the way the vegetables and stuffs. Even some of them don't even drink milk because they think milk is a meat.
Yes, animal product.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They don't eat anything which come from animal.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I know over the years to get to to strictly vegetables, they had to. If you've been a meat eater, you got to gradually ease out of it into it. They got the oval vegetarians. That means they eat the eggs. They'll eat the eggs. They'll eat fish, and some of them might drink milk, but there's some where they won't, but they'll still eat egg and fish. um and then there's those that I don't know why they consider themselves vegetarian. They won't eat red meat. So they'll eat chicken, they'll eat fish, they'll eat eggs. Uh-huh. And then there's the vegetarian where it's just vegetables. Vegetables all the way. Whatever form it takes, as long as it's a vegetable. Now, vegan is another level. Vegetarians will eat processed food as long as it's vegetable based, you know. But vegans won't eat processed foods. They won't eat meat, and they will not. They'll cook their food as little as possible. So they're more like raw vegetables or unprocessed vegetables. You know, like they might not eat white rice, but they might eat wild rice. You know, because brown rice and white rice are processed. You know, you know, is a process. They won't eat vegans won't eat flour because flour is processed. You know, they want the vegetable in its natural state without being processed. No grinding, no, in some cases like the rice, no hull removal, stuff like that. Ve- Vegans drink plant-based milk and everything plant. Yeah. Well, actually, it depends on how the milk is processed. But they might drink coconut milk, stuff that naturally has milk. But if it has to be processed to be made into a milk, then they won't eat it. They won't drink it. They won't drink soy milk. Or I definitely know they won't drink almond milk because it got to be processed. But they will drink like coconut milk because hey, you just open up the coconut and the milk is right there. Yeah, some vegans at times can be anal. I used to live with one. What? They are trying to kill each other. A meat eater and a vegan living together. I'm drinking a vegan Corona with organic lemon. It depends. Was the Coronas made with processed or unprocessed barley, uh, yeast? Some of them consider yeast an animal product. Don't ask me to explain vegans' logic. Some of them consider the yeast or that's sometimes used to process alcohol as an animal.
Oh God.
Oh yes. hmm Yeah. So depends on which type of vegan, what type of vegetarian you run into. You have some that'll eat chicken, but they won't eat red meat. They'll eat chicken and fish, turkey, um, crustaceans, and they'll eat eggs. And then you got those that don't they only eat fish and eggs and some milk and stuff like that. Depends on what level they at. There's, but then there's people that's gone vegetarian and they tried to rush it. So they kind of overload with a lot of sugar and carbs and processed vegetarian stuff. So yeah, so those who are meat eaters and trying to go vegetarian, don't rush yourself. You gotta get your body used to it a little bit. As one vegetarian told me, and she was working her way to be vegan, and she said, and sometimes in the beginning stage, don't fight it. Just make it as little. Okay, like she said when she first had to give, she was giving up red meat like beef and lamb, but her body would still crave it every now and then. So in the beginning, she allow herself to have little bits of beef and stuff like that until she no longer crave it. Then she processed to uh but in the meantime she was still eating chicken, eggs, fish, along with whatever vegetable. It's just that it will be heavier on the vegetable side. She would like have like a lot of vegetables and go easier on the meat. And that's how you had to do. You had to gradually wean yourself off the beef, gradually wean yourself off the chicken, gradually wean yourself off the fish and the eggs and whatever else that's they consider meat. Animal rights, yeah. I might go, ease back. I might get off of red meat, you know, but I'm not gonna be completely animalless eating unless I just can't get it. I think I'm trying to work my way up to where that girl's at, where so but right now I gotta wean myself off of the beef and the pork. I hardly ever had lamb, so lamb, eh, it's not a deal breaker for me to give that up. That's an easy thing. I hardly ever had it. I can only think of a handful of times I might have had lamb. Okay, I think I had more goat than I had lamb. Although some people try to say that's the same, but depends on who you talking to. When I see an animal, right, Karen, I run away. Let's see, animal right, Karen. Yeah, but I noticed that all them times that they put red paint on fur coats, they didn't do it to no black women walking around with furs at the time. They did it to a whole bunch of white women walking around with furs. And texture doesn't feel right. It's probably why I have good cholesterol. hmm Okay, so yeah. So the red meat was easy for you to get off. Yeah, I know. I got a whole bunch of family that don't eat pork. Family, a few friends. But hey, I just want to kiss you on the mouth. I'll kiss you on the cheek, kiss you on the forehead. Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about beef. I mean pork. Yeah, yeah. I had a cousin who Muslim said who said that the who person whose lips touch pork will never touch mine. And then I tackle her and kiss her on the cheek. Too late. I already kissed you. Yeah. But that was just me messing with her. Now, during them times when I'm visiting, we over at their house, I knew it was going to be porkless wheat a month. Or when they came down for the summer, we weren't going to be eating any pork. There was no hardship. Well, I know red meat take days to process. So if you ate red meat today, and it takes about seven 7 to 10 days to get out of your body, but you're eating red meat every day. So yeah, it could take years because hey, it takes about 7 to 10 days to work out your body, and you eating red meat every day. So yeah, so it technically it could take years. I grew up not eating pork or seafood. I had to get off of milk recently because it started messing with the digestion. I used to love milk, but now I can't drink it. Okay, well, you're gonna have to try almond milk, coconut milk, cashew milk, soy milk. Yes, the men they don't encourage the men to drink soy milk, but women, yeah. Let me see. I used to have a really fabulous book on colon cleanse, and I had a companion book to it by the same author where you do all the different type of cleanses for every part of the body and seasonal cleansing. I mean, he had one for every season, for the spring, the summer. I lent it to my aunt. I haven't seen it since. It's somewhere in her attic, I think. I said, I was fussing at her. Weren't you supposed to call me when you was gonna be packing up the books so I can get mines out of there? Which reminds me, she got like 3 or 4. I think a lot more of my books than I know about, than I can remember. About a week. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, but some people don't chew enough. Yeah, we're also not chewing our food properly too. So if you're not chewing your food enough, it might be taking a little bit longer. Your meat enough. Oh, okay. So you're lactose intolerant. Go to alternate milks. Yeah. Well,
Uh,
me, the harder thing for me will probably be the milk and the cheese. Well, actually, the cheese, because I had to go without milk. The hardest thing was the cheese. I was craving cheese, uh, like like a mad thing. Yeah, yeah. Doctor La, wait a minute, La. Oh wait a minute, La Isla, Africa. To some good books about this stuff. Okay, Hassan just trying to limit red meat. It's definitely not something to eat daily. But I thought Hassan said he was beyond that point. But he's still struggling with giving up chicken and fish. Cheeseburger, especially cheeseburger off the grill. Go to turkey and chicken ground meat. Turkey bacon is, yeah, for those that like bacon. Turkey bacon tastes like bacon. Get the uncured turkey bacon. Those are the best. That's the best ones, made with the thigh, the thigh of the turkey. Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. Just to fool your body, try turkey ground meat, chicken ground meat. In fact, the first time I heard of turkey bacon was from my cousin. Oh, okay. Thank you, Anthony Morris, for the Cash App. Uncured. Yeah, yeah. A lot of bacons, ham, they cure it either with salt or nitrates and stuff like that. And I'm supposed to be cutting out my nitrates, but I like bacon. So I was looking for. So I started off looking for uncured bacon. I still every now and then indulge with bacon. But when I found uncured turkey bacon, because some of the regular turkey bacons, I felt like I was eating paper. But with the uncured turkey bacon, where they use the thigh meat from the turkey, so that means it's a little bit more, little less dry. And I found out here it tasted a lot more like bacon or like ham. For those of you who like that,
mhm.
uh-huh. Red meat is not a daily thing for me. No, ma'am. I do it once every 2 weeks as a treat. All right. Okay. No steak, just hamburger, lamb. Two is good. Okay, I'll take your word for it on the lamb since I hardly ever ate it. Well, the most recent time was last summer. Yeah, last summer I had some lamb chops. So, what do you think of all this? The talk about giving up red meat and red meat once every 2 weeks as a treat. I admit that my guilty pleasure is White Castle sliders. Hey, but watch the White Castle. That might not be real beef. That's the only thing bad about the fast food places. Sometimes you're not actually eating real meat. Sometimes you're eating. Hey, you could be eating vegetarian and didn't even know it. Or they got a filler. They use uh fillers in there so you don't get much meat. I do once a month, same time is chicken wings. Oh, that's like me with barbecue. Once a month, I would have barbecue. Always on Sunday or Saturday. When I go to California, though, fat burgers, Jack in the Box, watch out. There's still fat burgers out there? Okay. I guess when Hassan go on vacation, he goes on vacation. Yeah. White Castle isn't real beef. I thought it was just Taco Bell. Nah, just about all of them, unless you get one of them family burger joints. You know. Okay. Just I don't know. Whenever I think until now when I was younger, I always thought of California as IHOP, International House of Pancakes. So but I didn't call it IHOP. When I was a kid, the only place to get the International House of Pancakes was in California. Because I remember when we came back to Louisiana, and I was like, "Mom, when we gonna go to the International House of Pancakes?" And my grandmother was surprised because I didn't call it IHOP like my cousins did. I actually called it the International House of Pancakes. Okay, haven't I take this for a second?
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I think my speaker called and yeah. So, brothers and sisters, how we teaching you, how we bring our knowledge like this is gonna help everybody. It's gonna help me. It's gonna help you as well because then you might know something, I might not know it. So we're learning from each other. You understand? These are some of things we need to be very careful of our food that we eat and the things that we drink because that makes us being weak without being all the time healthy and we be unhealthy. You see, so we have to understand those things and let everybody know that hey, well yeah, when you know it for yourself. You're gonna learn and you're gonna know how to basically arrange your food that you'll be eating or you're gonna eat. That will be very, very good for you. Because as I'm talking to you now, when I tell you the kind of food that you're supposed to eat and you obey, or we all obey on it, I tell you, brothers and sisters, nobody's going to be in the hospital paying any hospital bill about these big, big diseases that we don't even know how to mention their names. Because then we're going to fix it. You understand? So we should check on the food that we eat, the drink that we take in. That's the problem we are facing.
All right, haven't I? Auntie asks, "What are your thoughts on pasta?"
He said what?
She said, "What are your thoughts on pasta?" Uh, the noodles, like
Oh,
Italian noodles, not like Chinese, like
yeah, but the
Vietnamese.
noodles is not good. Every noodles is not good for you to eat. You see, the noodles is a flours that they used to do. So when you eating flies,
Haven't I? Okay, I don't think I heard it right. It, did you say eating flies or flour? Californians are known for Fat Burger, Tommy Burgers, Pink's Hot Dogs, and Roscoe Chicken and Waffles, especially here in LA. I thought Roscoe Chicken and Waffles out of Atlanta. Okay. Oh well, let's see. Give her a moment to come back. But I know we definitely know that that pasta is flour, oil, and something else, water. In and Out Burger. That's a real thing. I thought that was something made up for a skit. All right, y'all. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up. Mhm. Okay, everybody. Obviously we need to have um a topic on healthy eating and stuff like that, and food combinations, and what to eat healthily, and more about the vegetarian and the vegan, and giving up red meat and pork. So 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 we're gonna end the stream right now. And see, just check to see if Avana is in Discord after the show, and she could probably answer your question properly. Cause I think I heard her wrong, or there was some kind of sometimes when you're about to go out, you get a distortion. So all of y'all starting a food craving around here. Peace, power, and unity. See you next time. If not sooner, we'll definitely see you for ladies' night. All right, we're gonna leave out with some music.
Dwelling G dog. Let's feed y'all. Put it down, dog.